In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit acminc.com today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana for the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram. I like just kind of started dabbling with that just a little bit with the social media and Instagram. Of course, I've kind of like regressed. Oh, the Soch, is that what it is?
I don't know.
The Soch?
I think you do.
You gotta ask the kids, man.
I know, that's all I have to do.
No, I got called out the other day though. I said, I was talking to a friend. I was like, yeah, it's kind of suspicious. And she was like, it's sus now. It's not suspicious. It's just sus.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry. My age is showing. Like.
Yeah.
All right, let's get turnt.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
even
not turnt
know.
no more.
No.
What's it now?
Tur.
They shortened it. It's
just the T.
It's
Just You just do
and then caribou calls everywhere.
Yeah, Kennedy called herself a beast the other day.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
Like, oh, okay. Like
I'm a
a
beast.
13-year-old little girl called herself a beast.
Was she like working out?
No, she's a beast at some game on her phone. Like it's really popular. Somebody give it to me.
Minesweeper, Minecraft,
No,
Roblox,
Solitaire.
no.
Among
Is
Us.
it Candy Crush?
Something like that.
Ooh,
It's another
Candy
game
Crush.
like
You
it.
just dated yourself again.
I'm a beast at something.
Oh no.
Isn't that old?
I mean,
Yeah.
in high school they'd say like beast mode, like in like
Yeah, I
the
remember
gym,
that.
but
Yeah.
Right.
that's my like, only.
It just kind of like threw me. I'm like, because she's in 7th grade, so they're talking all the new lingo, the lingo you learned when you were in junior high.
Oh,
You
man.
come into school and you're like, oh, they're saying that.
Yeah.
You better start saying that.
So I was like the
Bussin'.
kid who wasn't like in the cool kid group. So I'd kind of like
Oh.
listen and then like ask my brother later,
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Hey Drew,
What does this mean?"
What does this mean?"
So when you were ready to come to the table, you had it all down.
Well, Drew didn't know either.
Then we use Google.
Yeah. My kids call me, what's up, my guy? My guy. That's the new thing for the boys. I don't know.
Oh, does it track or you like don't?
No,
don't
I'm just
call me
like,
that.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just say it back to him.
Packy started calling me dude.
Dude.
Oh,
And
that
I was
dude.
like, damn, that's because of me.
Dude. My guy.
I was like, hey, dude.
My guy.
Yeah, my guy.
Welcome to Alaska Wild Project, episode 61. Today we have Sarah Lucore with us. Her Instagram is Sarah_summits. You're doing good on there.
Yeah, I think so. It kind of took off a little bit the past year, which has been exciting. Not necessarily planned, but I kind of like it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been blowing up. We were just checking your thing out the other day. You got a lot of nice pictures.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been nice. And I met a lot of really wonderful people. That's been really exciting. And I think my favorite part has been the community and
Yep.
making new connections and meeting new friends. So
I think that's underestimated and undervalued. Like, I know there's a lot of anti-social media people, and they're like, I don't want to be a part of that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But really, you connect with people that you probably never would. You know, I run the social media for Alaska Wild Project, and I'm constantly talking to random people, but like after a while you're like, oh, it's Johnny from at Johnny Blair's or whatever, you know, and you're just talking to them around about random questions, Alaska stuff. And we get hit up a lot from people that are coming to Alaska, which you probably do
Yes.
as well. I know we were talking about Erica, Alaska Outdoor Girl, and Danica and some of the other girls that are involved with that. They're probably getting hit up all the time with people that have legit questions, and it's cool to like find the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll text Jack or Brandon and be like, oh, what do you guys know about this?
yeah.
So I think that's undervalued, that like, you know, all the old boomers are like, rah, 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 I don't want to talk to nobody. But you get on there and really you can make some really cool connections with some really cool people.
Yeah, like-minded interests, which is cool because sometimes it's super hard to find people to hike mountains every day with you.
Well, yeah, actually, my friends who I go hiking with most frequently now, Andrea and Mary Kate, I was going on these hikes by myself before, and it's really nice to have found a group of friends who you can go and do kind of fun stuff in the mountains with. It's a lot more safe now, which is nice. Going with people is always a better idea. And it's really opened the door to doing some more peaks that we've all wanted to climb, but haven't necessarily had the group to go with. So that's been really exciting. I really enjoy that.
Or someone has like done one that you've been wanting to do and they can take you and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is one like good thing about Facebook. I know that's like more for like older folks, that seems like. But like their groups and their ability to have like these groups of like, I don't know, for example, like resident hunters of Alaska, or like people that are going out, like Luke Mel was saying, he was setting up like a Nordic skate deal where he's like people are like checking out the ice on these places and they all meet up and talk about it. So I think that Facebook hit the mark with that, where you can like almost immediately get like to the group, whereas like Instagram, it's more like story and people have to like see it, and then it's not like as quick maybe.
Yeah. I think the Facebook groups is just like a really good resource. Like if you're just moving here and you're like into hiking, like Jane is, and Jane Lau, and she got into this hiking group, and almost all of her best friends are from the hiking group, and that's how we met Sean.
Okay.
You know, and Sean, and then we have this awesome guest come in to talk about his worldly hiking adventures, you know.
Yeah.
It was just, it's such a cool thing just from this little hiking group, you know, but then there's one for everything, pack rafting and ice fishing, and it's just really cool.
Yeah. That's the one, I guess, good thing about Facebook.
Yeah, and I like the Facebook groups more for like trail beta, so going and getting conditions, and people will go on the hiking pages a lot and post pictures from their hike, how the hike went, if they would recommend going, and if you scroll through, you can kind of read in the comments if other people have gone. So that's what I really appreciate about the Facebook groups, and I also recommend those to people who have messaged me on Instagram and are asking for recommendations if they're coming to visit. I always, of course, give them a list of like my go-to hikes, more for like, if it's a lot of families message me and ask for recommendations. I'm like, hey, you should add yourself to these hiking groups. They have really great conditions. If like none of the ones I've recommended kind of jive with what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
what are some of those?
Hiking in Alaska, girls who hike. Those are the Facebook groups, the two that I am on that I really like.
Is there boys who hike?
I don't know. I'm not on it.
Come on, guys. We need our own page.
Are there boys in the group?
Yeah, boys allowed in there.
I think so. I mean, I hope so.
Don't get canceled. Don't get canceled.
Dudes are all top secret. Won't tell nobody nothing about where they go.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't ask me.
Upper Huff.
Go check out Bird Ridge.
That's why there's no like fishing in Alaska pages. They're like, you don't get to know where the spot is.
No, there's not. There's not.
They're like Ship Creek.
Yep.
Go get a can.
Hit the bait, Jack.
Yep.
That's right.
Speaking about Ship Creek, I want to shout out they're doing their annual Ship Creek cleanup here May 14th. So coming up really quick, if you can get out there, they're going to have a bunch of free food and prizes and all that stuff to get all that going. And they're still looking for the first Ship Creek King. He says that it could be any time now.
Wow.
13th to the 22nd is the sweet time.
That's it?
Of April?
No, May.
May, okay.
And the first guy gets like a
13th to the
huge pack,
22nd.
like a huge winnings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know
most
that
fish
was
are
a
caught.
thing.
Oh yeah, Dustin he's been blowing it up down there, and as like king fishing around the state has just gone to shit. Like that one seems
South
like it's
Central.
like climbing, you know.
Yeah, they're doing good with that fishery,
Yeah.
the hatchery.
Well, I love that they made it an event and that they hyped it. I think that's fun.
Yeah, he's hyping it
it's
and
getting
doing
bigger
prizes
every year.
Yeah, yeah. He said last year they had like I don't know what he's almost 150 people that went down to help clean up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking like I was just down there the other day, just checking stuff out down there, and now that there's not as many homeless in that area, it seems like all the homeless kind of shifted like towards Midtown. It's not that dirty.
Well, I mean, they opened up the Sully, so there's a huge community.
Okay, yeah,
Kinda
that's what I'm
like
saying. Like everyone
standing in
kind of
that area.
went towards Midtown area, so it's you get 150 people out there to clean it up. It'll be quick
Yeah, well,
and look nice,
especially when
for
he's
the
doing
tourist.
renegade vigilante cleanup in the fall.
Yeah,
Runs through there with his weed whacker by the trail, just like shaving it back. He meets us for lunch last fall, and his like boots and his pants are just covered in grass. We're like, "What you been up to today, man?" Some
rogue.
renegade, rogue yard work.
What's so great about Alaska, though? You can show up for lunch or dinner like that, and it's completely fine.
I mean, the backstory was awesome because he was cleaning up, Muni property, but it was by his area, and he takes a lot of pride in the creek and that certain
stretch.
image and stretch that he covers, and I think it's awesome that he's taking pride in that, and it's helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff you guys see it when the snow melts.
well, it's pretty much
just
like the first one of the
gets trapped.
first places that tourists come when they come to Anchorage. They want to go down there and check it out.
Jump off
Yeah.
the train. Yeah.
They'll go down do 4th Avenue and go into the little shops and all that. But then they want to like go see like what do I want to see? They want to go see the reindeer in the cage, and then they want to go see the fishing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let me explain the reindeer in the cage real quick because that sounds real
what's
bad. So a couple funny facts about that.
Reindeer in the fenced
Yeah,
area?
fenced area. It's always a reindeer, or actually I should say a caribou, that was hurt or injured that they are basically fixing or healing up to go put it back into the herd. And another fun fact is it's always named Star. So like the last like 20 of them been named Star, and the guy will go and walk it down like, you know, the park strip and all that stuff. So that's one of the good things for tourists to come check out.
That's awesome.
Star
Number
20.
Number 20.
Star gonna mean
They just add an R to the end. So Star.
You gotta roll it.
You gotta roll it out. What's the Memorial plan? Memorial weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, what do you guys do?
This year, I think we're going to go, we have a cash camper for the back of our truck. So I think we're going to just go on a camping trip. I'm not sure where yet. I'm not as like organized as I have been previously with planning trips. Since starting grad school this year, I've been a little bit more preoccupied. But we're going to talk about that. When Nick gets home, he's out hunting caribou right now.
Oh,
actually.
he is? Nice.
Yeah, he's up in the Arctic Circle. Snow camping. They built like snow shelters and they're sleeping in.
Awesome.
Oh, way
those.
cool.
They're having a great time. Last I heard. So, but we're gonna do more planning.
That's badass.
Yeah, no, he was really stoked to go. They like skied out and brought all their gear with them, and so they'll be back on Friday.
Has you got one yet?
No, they were waiting for a couple hours yesterday for them to cross the like OK line, but they never crossed, so they had to kind of pack it up and call it a day.
I'm starting to think that over like the cash camper, one of those things, like, man, is that not the best like mobile camping? Like, because the motorhome is like, you got to find a big spot. If you have like the what you have, Jack, the
Art pod, you can't haul a boat.
You can't haul any toys, and you're dealing with like a trailer deal. Whereas like the truck with the thing, it's you just go anywhere. You can just, even if it's like day parking, you can still stay there all night and sleep in there.
Yeah. Did you guys have that built by Cash and Palmer?
No, so we got it used off of Facebook Marketplace from a very kind elderly gentleman who bought it and just never used it. And we
had it all custom built, picked out everything. Loved looking at it in the driveway.
Yeah, actually,
that's what they mostly do.
It was kind of sad. He said that his girlfriend didn't like it, so they just never went. I was like,
such a bummer.
Investment.
Like, I loved it.
But no, that's exactly why we got it. Was so we have a raft that we go fishing with. So
you can drag it,
so we can pull it, and then it's like the adventure wagon. You have everything, and you just take off for the weekend, and it's really nice. And it stays on the truck all summer and most of the fall for like steelhead fishing. It makes that a lot more comfortable. So,
what's it look like? Can you look it up, Brandon?
The cash camper.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of it on your social media?
I don't think I have a photo on my social media account.
So
is it like canvas? A soft
No.
So
I'll pull it up.
Cash Campers is like a local camper manufacturer and builder out in Palmer. So they can like repair motorhomes and campers and all that kind of stuff, but they actually custom build their cab over style
it's a
truck
cab over.
campers.
Okay.
I really like that gray one.
And let me tell you, they've come a long way, because they used to just be like
the old school
kind of like
ones.
a canopy, like right there, right to the far right, Daniel, in the silver Toyota.
This one?
Yeah. Like
Well,
that
even
was
before
kinda
that, like this is fancy with doors. Like they used to have like they didn't even have windows.
Yeah, right. But they've
Like,
got
look at this
really
guy.
all out on the camper style. And they're really
That was
like
cool.
So does it have
build
pop
and-
outs and stuff?
Well, this one's like low and pops out.
Ours doesn't have any pop outs. Ours is pretty old actually, but I like it. I just call it vintage. And
Nice.
but there's no pop outs, but it fits like a king bed in the top part, and
Cab
there's
over,
like
yeah.
a cab over, and there's like a dining nook and a refrigerator and a stove.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
it is
Yeah.
perfect.
Do you guys have dogs too?
Yeah, we have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
I have a husky named Juno, and then we have Cooper, and he's like a golden retriever,
big
black
dogs.
lab mix. Yeah.
Pile in there. Everybody's nice and
Yeah,
toasty.
they're great. It's
I bet.
awesome.
Yeah. And if I remember, those are like really easy to clean.
Oh yeah.
Like vacuum them out, sweep them out, wipe it down, and like ready to go the next weekend,
It's
right?
awesome. And I like the seat cushions unzip, so you can just like take those off and take them down to the
Nice.
laundromat and just it's
Yeah.
great. Like
That's cool. You guys roll up. You don't have to like set up a tent in the rain or anything. You can just
my
So,
gosh.
like, before we got, it's funny that you said that before we got
That's what I think about when I think about what a camper brings to the table. You know what I mean?
before we had the camper, we, like, built a bed in the back of the truck because there was a cab over or a cover on the truck. And we just sleep on that on, like, a little, like, foam rollout. And then we just put everything underneath. And, like, that was fine and it worked. But it got kind of crowded with, like, 2 dogs and all of our gear and, wet waders. Like, that's not fun.
Yeah.
So,
And then you just throw everything in there.
yeah. But it's been great. It's awesome.
Little buddy heater.
Cool.
Just reminds me of when I was a kid. We did the whole like tent, van, pop up, camper. Motorhome, the full transition.
Yeah.
And then when we got the pop up, that was the worst. This was like 1980, like 9. They're just
That's that
canvas.
Coleman,
Oh my
Coleman
God. And my
pop-up.
dad, I just remember him like waking me up from like driving who knows where. It's like 1 a.m. He's like, I need to come out here and help me. Because we had to like, 2 of us had to like crank it up, and then like it's just pouring rain, and you get in there, and the canvas is all wet, and you're like leaning up, and it's musty in there. It's just like, oh God, I
I
hated
always
that
wondered,
thing.
were they ever really waterproof, or what? Did they
That
get
one
wet?
wasn't.
Or were they,
That
like,
one-
allegedly waterproof?
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
But once that canvas gets wet, it's wet.
Yeah.
Like if you brush up against it, you're just wet. And they didn't have good sleeping bags, and like no, it was just a nightmare.
That's a fact. It was kind of cool you even had a camper, though.
Yeah.
Like, my folks.
Yeah, no, that was a step up. We were stoked about it, except I was the one that had to get out there in the rain at 2 a.m. and help pick it up while my brothers and sisters are still in the car sleeping.
We graduated up to the cab over, and that was nice for my dad and mom, but none of the kids could go in it. So there's 3
That's exactly
kids.
what I was going to just say, man. I had to sleep in a tent.
And we had those trips. My dad wouldn't bring the tent, so then he had like 86 crew cab Ford,
you guys
but
slept in the
without
truck.
tinted windows.
Oh,
So in the summer it's
Little
fucking
bright.
hot as fuck and
No.
bright, and so we're all sleeping in the cab, and so someone has to pick the back floor, and someone's in the front, and then someone's in the back, and I was like, camping with you guys sucks.
Yeah.
I
I know kids they grow up with their folks that have campers and they get to sleep in the motorhome. Like my kids did there for a while when I had one, and I'm like, man,
You are lucky.
we went to camp and then my brother and I set up a tent, and then we slept in the tent, rain, shine, no matter what. Bear in the campsite. Here's some bear spray, boys. Like it was like, there's no kids in the camper, man, and it was just normal to me.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, man, kids don't even know.
Oh, dude, my kids like own our pod, dude. I don't even go in it. It's their space.
That's so funny.
You're just gonna start setting up a tent outside for yourself.
Pretty much. I'll wait till I'm pass out.
Well, growing up, my parents, we only did tent camping, and I loved it. It was so much fun because, like, the kids, we had our tent. My parents had a tent.
Learn how to do it right too, right?
Yeah, it was great. And my parents, like, I had a very, like, wonderful outdoorsy childhood. We go on kayaking trips, and, like, we get dropped off in one spot in Prince Sound and picked up in another. And
Sick.
it was awesome. And,
Yeah.
like, kudos to my parents, like, for coordinating that kind of a trip with 8 and 9-year-olds.
Yeah.
But when it was suggested that we get a camper, I was like, that's not camping. Like, it's camping is in a tent. Because I just had this perceived notion of, like, what camping in Alaska was.
Yep.
But I have no complaints. I'm very happy with the cash camper.
That's cool.
It certainly is nice.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a little bougie in your camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
And then we'll
clamp.
earn those other camp spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put some tread down and get there.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you more excited about a more rustic camping experience when you do camper or motorhome it for maybe like a month straight, and then you go on a hike.
Yeah.
And you're gonna live out of your pack. It's like so fun.
Yeah.
Because you're just there's actually a lot of preparation in the process of doing a camper, right? Like getting it cleaned and ready and full of water and emptied and propane and stock it with food and the whole thing, versus you can throw a pack together for a 2-night hike overnighter, you know what I mean? And like, it's if you got all the stuff, it takes you an hour if you're ready to go, and you don't have a trailer and dragging a bunch of stuff, and it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. At least that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Get a little spoiled.
Yeah.
You know?
Which mountain house versus which DiGiorno?
Or popcorn. You can put popcorn in the microwave. Like, come on.
On your Instagram, it said Wild Wanderings. Is that a quote? Is that a business? What is that?
Just wild wanderings. I guess that's just kind of what I like to do. I just like to get outside, and I don't care what I'm doing. I'm just happy to be out enjoying Alaska and kind of wandering around. A lot of my activities aren't necessarily planned, especially if it's just a quick hike after work, and I kind of enjoy it more that way. So that's what I would call wild wandering.
Okay, got it. I was like, is that something? And then the other thing, I was like, I was gonna have Brandon ask this, but I'm gonna ask this. We both didn't know.
Oh man, I'll ask it.
Okay, go
ahead. 200 hours YTT.
So that's my 200-hour yoga teacher training.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't.
I was really worried everybody else in the world knew what it was except for me.
No, and so the Yoga Teacher Training Alliance is fairly new, within the past 5 or 10 years.
So they'll listen and be like, that idiot, he didn't know?
No.
Okay. Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, it's fairly new, and it's just a way to kind of give, I think, yoga teachers a little bit more credibility and insurance also. So you have some form of license saying hey, I did a certified training that's been okayed by the Yoga Teacher Training Alliance, and so.
Where'd you do yours at?
I did mine with Margot Sorum and Shelly Christofferson at Open Space Yoga Studio, and it was wonderful. It was a great experience. I loved it so much.
So do they sponsor you, and then do you get certified when you get that 200 mark, or
No, so I paid for the teacher training, and you sign up for it. I don't think they did the past 2 years. Shelly and Margot didn't, just because everything was just kind of up in there for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
hard to say.
Tell us more about that.
What was your last 2 years like?
Quiet.
Outside a lot.
A lot of hiking.
A lot of wild wandering.
A lot of wild
I'm yoga
wandering.
certified, if you're asking.
How do you think she got the 200 hours?
Putting in work.
So, but no, the yoga teacher training was a very pivotal moment and change in my life, and I couldn't recommend it. I think everyone should take a yoga teacher training course. Not just because you want to teach, but just because there's so many tips and tricks that they teach you, and it just gives you a different perspective on how you view life and what's important and what you're allowing to cause stress and anxiety, and so yeah,
That's super cool.
it was great.
Now I know what it is.
Yeah.
So are they still doing the open space yoga down there? Or?
Open Space is still open. I'm not teaching there currently, but their class schedule, I'm not sure what it looks like. I haven't looked in a while, but they are still open. But there's a couple new studios that have opened up in Anchorage.
Really?
There's Jewel Wellness. It just opened. It's next to Great Harvest Bread.
Okay.
My friend Kristen teaches there. I'm excited. I haven't gone to check out a class yet, but it's definitely on the schedule.
Is there a beginners? I've been wanting to go because I can't barely put my socks on.
Yeah.
But I need a beginner. I don't want to go in there and there's well, do the downward dog to the and I'm like,
So what I love
Just gotta
about
get in there, man.
But there's has to be level 1, right? Is it
there's always
hour 1?
The novice league.
Hot flow.
I need one help, please. No, there's always, if you look at schedules, they typically have an introduction class or classes for beginners. But what I really love about yoga is that it's for everybody. And even if you did show up to an advanced class and you didn't know what you're doing, I can almost guarantee nobody would care. Everyone would just be so excited that you were there and trying it. And the teachers I've met and know are all very supportive and
I'm very intimidated.
encouraging.
Absolutely. You go in there and you won't feel like that.
Your neck will get all hot.
And you just kind of follow what everyone else is doing. Because
Yeah.
the instructor's saying stuff and you're kind of oh, what's that mean? But then you just look around and you're like,
But what do you
everyone's
wear?
doing that. I wear
All I have
shorts.
is soccer shorts.
Yeah.
That's all. Basically, that's all you wear.
I don't know.
Or at least for hot
some
yoga.
of those moves.
Well, so a lot of the guys
Or some tight briefs,
I know who go wear compression shorts and then regular shorts and then just a
Okay,
t-shirt. So
okay.
if
The
they're
bird
feeling,
dogs, dude. The
Okay.
bird dogs.
With
The
the
underwear
underwear, yeah,
built
like
in.
swimming trunks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, bird dogs.
Full support.
Okay.
Full support.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
You
no.
could just get some.
I'm still intimidated. I'm not
We'll
intimidated by a
go.
lot
We'll go.
with that. I need to go with someone who's
Yeah, we'll
going.
Go get you a fresh set of Lulus. and just get in there.
No, don't do that, dude. Don't do that.
They
Head
got
to toe.
They got
Lululemon.
They got
Yes.
some. They got
I
some
cannot.
fresh.
First of all, I can't even go in the
hey.
mall. Okay,
They got some fresh
that's where all
dudes.
those stores are located.
They got
My
some fresh dude stuff.
My brother wears the Lululemon like every day, and he doesn't even go to yoga. So, yeah.
well, I mean,
yeah. It's really nice looking. It's super expensive.
Oh, okay.
Or you can wear bird dogs.
Yeah.
I got some soccer shorts.
And some tight undies underneath.
You can always check out like a YouTube video also.
You know what? I think I would be more comfortable with like an internet class.
Yeah, then you can do it at home in a safe
Yeah.
space where you're comfortable.
Camera on.
It's not
Yeah.
hot. You got to have the hot yoga.
I mean, you could like crank the furnace in the garage maybe.
I'll just set the fireplace on and I'll do it in front of
Yeah.
That won't be weird.
Because that's the best part is the sweating. I don't know. It's so therapeutic.
No, I do enjoy a hot yoga class. It is nice.
So do you like the traditional forms or do you do more of these like hybrid flows?
I really enjoy the vinyasa flow classes. That's like,
Vinyasa.
yep, vinyasa flow. And
See, that's what I'm talking about. They're like, well, now we're going to do the vinyasa. And I'm like, what is that?
I think that's the one you would like. It's really fluid and dynamic.
And they do it a couple times through, so you
Okay.
can kind of figure it out
Okay.
first. And it's great because they'll do like your left side, then your right side, so you can just watch everybody, like depending on which way you're
Okay.
going.
So as a beginner, you should go in the back row.
I loved the back corner. It was my jam.
Okay.
That's
But I'm
where
sure
I
there's a
would
lot of people
be.
fighting for that.
I like
That I would get there
edges.
15
there
minutes
early.
early, so I could have my. But now you can reserve spots.
Yeah.
At
Oh,
certain
really?
Studios, so like you
They have it like
dibs.
lined up.
Yeah.
So there's
Gotta
Jewel
check
Wellness is new. What are the other ones that are new?
Jewel Wellness is the newest one that I've heard about. Open Space has been there forever. Anchorage Yoga has been there for a long time. And then I know there's a couple teachers. I can't remember their names off the top of my head who are doing on donation classes. But I can send those to you guys later. I just can't remember them. Off the top
Yeah,
of my
that'd be
head.
cool. It'd be nice to find some other options because like that. I used to go to Anchorage Yoga all the time, but it is like, oh, I have to sign up for this class 10 days ahead of time, and then if I don't cancel in time, then I get charged, and it's just like that's just too much.
It's tricky, and everyone has a different platform. But
Have they come out with the freezing yoga?
so actually, it's funny that
You know, like
said
the Wim
that.
Hof style, yeah. Why not?
there-
They do cold plunges.
I
and all
Yeah.
did read a little article in one of the yoga journals about cold yoga and like the benefits for your immune system and
Just come in with your puffy.
I don't know, but like on the flip side, I was like, I feel like my muscles would not like that. Like I
Yeah.
might like tear something. Like so
Exactly.
I'm probably not gonna try that, but
But it's coming. It's out there.
yeah, it is.
All right. Okay.
It doesn't sound good. I think we'd pull a lot of muscles. For
Yeah, everything's all tight.
That does not sound enjoyable.
That's gonna be a no for me.
Get a full rotator cuff just torn.
Yeah.
They do need to do like one of those like cold plunges after your hot yoga though, because you're so
That'd be
hot.
nice.
It'd just be like jumping in from a banya or something,
Yeah.
Get the full cleanse.
Oh, dude, that banya I had this last weekend was so nice. But yeah,
Yeah.
What is that?
banya.
Yeah.
It's like Kodiak sauna, with the little fish pool outside with freezing cold water to jump in.
I was nodding, but I didn't know.
Oh yeah, so it's like
about
they
it.
use like the Russian word
So
right
this
for
is why I
sauna
ask
is
these
banya.
questions. Okay. I might sound like, how do you not know that? Well, I feel like someone else listening
So
will not know either. So let's get it out
well,
there.
when you go to Kodiak, good thing we had this
See, Dan, we were just
conversation
talking about
because
this.
when you go there, you're gonna meet a lot of new friends, and the one thing they do, like one of their community things, is like, hey, you want to come over for a banya? So
Is it
you're in
because
there,
it's
man.
heavily Russian influenced?
Yeah. So, and that's a Russian word. So then they
Banya.
go get there, get your little sauna on, your banya on, and then outside there's usually a fish tote filled with water. And you do your cold
wow.
water plunge. It's really nice. It feels
Is
very
it like,
shocking.
Is it like, when I used to go to the Alaska Club and I'd go in the steam room and you just get that hot drip on your back. Just burn you off. Oh, I'd have to leave because I was looking at cry like a little girl.
Yeah, when it's dry, it's not as bad.
Okay, so it's
'Cause
dry.
It's dry. Yeah.
So it's
They're
more like a sauna?
wood-fired sauna, right?
Okay. When I think banya, like the old Russian style, I just feel like bathhouse. Like that's the definition.
yeah.
Like steamy and like smoky in there. And
Yeah. So most of the people are now building them with the stoker part of the fireplace outside.
Oh.
And then one of the other things that I've noticed on the like Kodiak style banyas is so you have your sauna, and then you have that one, your stoker room outside, and then there's like a nice walkway inside.
Okay.
So it's just also a little different than like the outdoor saunas you see here. It's usually like outdoor to indoor, but they have this space in there that you can unrobe and all
in
that.
between.
Yeah.
What do you wear in there? Soccer shorts?
Well, when I went the other day, I was by myself, so I wasn't wearing much.
I like it.
Is it like a
depends
on who you're going with?
I was going
Okay.
birthday club.
Okay, gotcha.
Birthday club that day.
That was,
Birthday
towel
outfit?
optional.
Yeah.
Towels optional.
But if there was other people there, I would have worn my undies probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Gotta know
good-
these protocols.
good in- yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I kind of just am like, what are these people doing? If they're all naked, I guess I'm gonna get naked too.
Yeah.
Just get with
Like,
it.
it's your
No,
place.
I read an article in Outside Magazine about like hot springs and like if you're obligated to like wear a swimsuit or go nude. And it really depends on like if you got there first or who you're with or like what the other group is comfortable with. So like if you're already there and other people show up, like the consensus was like just ask like, hey, are you guys comfortable? Like if I
So if I show up nude to the yoga,
no, that's not what I'm saying.
first guy there in the corner,
Ooh, I'm gonna start
was just
signing up for Daniel's class.
I was just gonna set the tone. Is this not cool?
I mean,
you guys have to follow suit. I was first.
that is not what I'm recommending.
Sarah Summit said,
No,
It's like a yoga banya.
that's funny. But
Yanya.
yeah, that's that was the protocol for hot springs that I.
Okay, I didn't know
That's
that.
a super interesting, like fun fact. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't know.
Even
what
up
to do.
here, like the ones up north, the springs and all
Seems
that. Is it-
ethical. Seems like the right thing to
I
do.
mean, I wouldn't probably not at the one in Fairbanks that like they like own, you
Yeah.
know, because that's kind of like a family resort. But I think like ones that are further out, like there's the other one you can like snow machine out to. That there's a cabin.
Okay.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like
A
would
little more private.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kind of no rules apply in that situation.
maybe
Have you guys ever done the
Which
springs
one?
up in
Chino hot
Chino,
springs?
yeah.
I've done that, but I
Yeah.
haven't done the other
I
one.
hear it
The
really
hiking one.
stinks.
It's the sulfur
Yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah.
smell very nice. But
I mean, I've always wanted to do it, and I feel like I'm going to do it one day.
it's cool.
You
It's
should
fun.
go with the kids and go do it.
I
think
tried to
everybody
plan
should
it,
go
but
once.
no one wanted to do it. So
I've yet to be at a hot springs that isn't sulfury though.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you kind of, it's just kinda
Gas is
comes-
releasing from the
yeah,
earth,
yeah,
yeah.
it's rotten
Tends
eggy.
to stink.
You know?
Yeah.
You get used to it, kind of like in
Yeah.
Iceland. You kind of got used to it.
is it all worth the hype? I mean, you know,
I
is
think
it-
as an Alaskan, it's a great experience because you're from like you live in Alaska. It's Chino Hot Springs. It's fun to go once.
middle of winter.
Yeah.
you know, do the thing.
Yeah.
watch the Northern Lights. Maybe. I mean, are you even gonna get that chance?
It depends on the time of year.
It'll
I
be
think.
real crowded.
Yeah.
if there's northern lights out.
Oh.
we have lots of visitors
Definitely
from
gonna
across
need
the
you folks
ocean.
to wear some clothes
Yeah.
Yep.
So they want to have like some good luck.
Yeah.
So.
as the buses are just
Yeah, but
driving in.
I think like in the Rockies, there's all these like kind of hidden ones and
That's-
stuff where you like get
yeah.
off the grid and get to it, and they're not commercialized, and those are really cool.
That's what I think the article was more focused on was those kind of off the grid locations.
Yeah, we went to one in Canada as a family back in the day, and that was like you kind of got to hike in there. and
Yeah.
there was like several different like natural
that's
ones.
cool.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I was young, but
Were you guys the first ones there?
no, we had our clothes on. I know that. My mom was very religious. She probably had the full outfit on, head to toe.
Head to toe.
You mentioned that you were something about swimming. What? Professional or
No.
college?
Comp swimming.
Comp
No,
swimming?
Not college.
Competitive swimming. that was
Competitive
what-
swimming.
Okay.
I started comp swimming when I was 7, and I swam all the way through high school. And I could have swam at University of Fairbanks, but I didn't want to go to school up there. It's too cold for me.
Yeah.
And I even like in college, I knew like I need to be outside and like get some kind of activity in, and like that's not as feasible in Fairbanks in the winter because it's just
Yeah.
so cold.
Yeah.
and your hair's wet all the time.
Oh, absolutely not. Like it's just like people's hair would like break off because like it would freeze.
Just freeze
and
so
just-
fast. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I heard, but I had no interest in doing.
It's brutal
that.
cold up there.
Have you ever done any really cool outdoor swims?
So no.
That's a good question.
A couple of my friends are like big into outdoor swimming and have done some like longer swims like around the U.S. I have a really hard time putting my face in the water if I can't see the bottom. I don't know why. And I tried swimming with my friends this summer at I think it's Little Campbell Lake up at Kincaid. And like I like hopped in, and all of a sudden I was like, and I couldn't. I was like, and they're like, Sarah, I thought you swam. And I was like, I do.
You're a competitive swimmer.
Oh, were you at?
In a pool. But like after a while, I was comfortable. But like I like swimming in lakes, but I don't think open water swimming's for me.
The reason I asked that is because you know that like complex you have as like a hiker in Alaskan where you're next to this peak and you're like, I'm gonna go climb that, I'm gonna bag that, you know. And like when growing up, I love swimming, and when I go to lakes, I have that complex. I'm like, I can swim across this, you know. And some you can never try, like ski lac, like none of us are gonna do it. But
Oh hell no.
yeah,
I've gone swimming in that. Not across.
It's cold.
Oh man, that
We
would
had
be
the
real
same
cool.
thing, especially as kids. Like, you know, what's the what's the first little hiking spot when you leave Anchorage on the left?
Potter
McHugh
Valley.
Creek?
No,
McHugh Creek.
McHugh Creek. We jumped into that and swam. That is extremely cool.
Oh, that little waterfall thing.
yeah, man.
Actually.
When I was like 10, my dad's like, just get in there.
Dad, you
need
get
a
in
bath.
there.
I was like, okay,
Full
I'm
hypothermia.
allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun.
We would go
little trail.
swimming all over the place. All over.
Well, in an Alaskan, swimming lakes or areas aren't really warm until
No.
July if you're lucky. And then they're only warm for a little while, or the only warm ones are shallow lakes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Or the Deshka, like in mid-June, seems to be really hot.
Yeah, I've swam in that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of
And it's
inner
only
tubing.
like 10 foot out there by the mouth. And the water is meandering and slow, so it's cool, but not. Actually, it's warm in some spots.
Yeah.
Like actually warm.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like freakishly warm.
I kinda forgot about that.
Deshka was always weird because like you'd get maybe like 700 kings a day in early June, but the water was cold, so you're like slaughtering them, you know, and they're just biting and hitting everything. And then you get those 3,000 fish days at like June 21st, summer solstice, and the water's hot, and like every fish just swims right by your lure, and you're like, what the fuck's happening here? And it's just too hot.
Yeah, it would crank up that fast.
Yeah, so
the temps would.
we're just gonna jump
That's
in the
river
water and
swimming.
go swimming.
That's river swimming.
Yeah, you can see the bottom.
What about snorkeling? What about snorkeling?
I love snorkeling, and I do scuba dive. So like that's fun. I don't know what it is though. Like when I'm scuba diving, I'm okay. Like because I've got my like regulator and mouthpiece, and I had thought about getting my like cold water cert to scuba dive here. So I was looking at doing that probably next year. But I don't know how though. I kind of want to go and like try like do like put on like a wetsuit and like snorkel around just to make sure I'll be okay with my face in the water because I don't want to have a moment and not be able to.
It's the ears.
Yeah.
It's the ears that's weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just because my parents have a sailboat in Prince William Sound, so we jump off the back of that, and that was fine. But that was like an in and out, like super quick.
Yeah.
But so I don't know.
What was the your stroke in competitive?
I did like distance, so 200 freestyle, 500 freestyle. Yeah, and then that's just like the
flip and come back. What was that? 2 times?
for a 200.
8 times.
Yeah,
How
so
many times
it's
is that? Like
25 down.
1,
Damn.
2, 3, 4.
So you had a lot of training to compete in that.
Yeah, I just like distance stuff, which is why I think I like hiking so much. I like those longer kind of endurance.
Endurance,
sports.
stamina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you done crow pass in a day?
No,
That's a lot.
I actually haven't done crow pass. It's on my list for the summer.
Yeah,
What's that total mileage again? I've asked that before, but
Man, I think it's 24.
in a day.
Because they do the Crow Pass marathon.
Yeah.
And people like run it in a couple of hours.
Well, and to get into that, you have to run sub 8-minute mile marathon. Tell you know.
Yes, there's quite a list of
21
prereqs.
miles.
Yeah. 21
miles.
Yeah, we're going to do the 1 day Crow Pass this summer. So we missed out on it last summer from bad weather the day we were picking. So if you want to come, you're welcome to join our
I
group.
would love to. That'd be super fun. Yeah.
1 day, huh? What would that be? Like, start at like 5 or 6 a.m.?
I think you could start at 6.
Yeah.
And it's light so late in the summertime. But I always like to plan more time than is anticipated. My friends and I have a habit of not planning enough time for hikes.
What do you figure that's like 15 hours?
6 or 7. That's what I think.
Must not be taking many breaks.
You're just walking. You
Yeah,
don't have a backpack
Just
on.
thinking about what you're covering per
3 miles
mile.
an hour.
I'd have to look at it and look at the elevation and look at trail conditions, I think, before I decided how fast I was able to hike it.
Yeah, because I'm thinking you do it a mile every maybe 20 minutes if you're elevating.
So
I
so like
guess-
7
Crow
hours.
Pass is right from Girdwood.
Yeah,
behind-
so it's just that first steep spot, and then after that,
Oh,
you're
you just
downhill to
cruise.
the creek, and
It's
then
the-
it's along the
Okay.
creek the way out.
The downhill part, it's not all uphill, which would be.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking it's like this, and I forget that you kind of do that initial pull. And
Yeah,
then
and then
Then
you're kind of
gradual,
downhill
like,
from there.
Yeah.
The fun
Yeah.
cruise back to the.
It's not as fun the other way.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the move? You start in Girdwood?
Yeah, you start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Get
Yeah.
the pull out of the way and then just cruise the rest of it.
It would be cool if you could start in the other way and go, because then you could, have some beers in Girdwood afterwards. But
But there's Odd Man Rush, and you
yeah,
go
there
there,
is.
which
Yeah, we go see
fun.
Rito.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
plug,
right.
dude.
Yeah,
That was good.
We just had Rito on a couple weeks ago.
I saw.
funny Crow Creek Pass story.
Full of them tonight, huh?
We were little, and me and my brother and my cousin went with my uncle Alex, who lives in Soldotna, and he wanted to take us on that. And it was going to be like a 3-dayer, and we're going to go camp and just go do the whole thing. He wanted to do it. When he first got to Alaska, he was like super adventurous and was trying to do all this stuff. So he dragged the boys along. And we got to the first stop where you get to the top, and then you could like climb up. We decided like go climb up to the top of this thing because we thought we saw a wolverine. And we're like, let's go up there. So we'd go up there with all our stuff. And me, like an idiot, I'm like, I'm just going to I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw my bag down so I don't have to carry it, And as soon as I throw it, he's just like, what are you doing, Daniel? And just gone. Didn't find my sleeping bag. So it was like, that was the end of the trip, dude. So we had to go back. He was so mad. And that was the last time I went to try to do that trail.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty
yard
funny
sale.
crow pass story. So when I was in college, my dad finally drew the Eagle River Ship Creek Ram, Doll sheep. So,
Really?
Yeah, he drew it. So, and it had been since I was 10 or 11, he had been applying for it. So at that time, that was probably 10 years he had been applying for it. But
That's pretty good.
maybe a little bit more than that. Anyway, regardless.
That's exciting.
So, he's the planner. So he's like, okay, son. And he's kind of a director. Anyway, so he's like, son, you go up there early and hike from Eagle River Nature Center up and bring in this raft that I got. And this is pre-pack rafts. I wish we had pack rafts. And so I'm a college kid. I was working 6 days a week. I didn't look at the raft. It was just in an army dry bag, and it weighed a lot. And I put it in my backpack, and I hiked up there, and I stashed it right next to the creek. So then, a couple days later, we come back up. And I thought it was a whitewater raft. So we hike back up with our full sheep hunting gear, and he pulls it out of the bag, which I should have done earlier. And it was the Walmart raft, the $20 thing. But it was a used one that he had got at that garage sale. What is that? Over near Huffman.
The Kempton Hills
That's
garage
you got it at
sale.
the Kempton.
Yeah.
So this thing had been used probably by multiple families.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
A few patches.
And we're across Eagle River, in a pretty shady section, just above some rapids. And I was like, man, how are you gonna? And it has those really crappy paddles, but it had broke, so you couldn't put it together. It was an oar, so you had to have separate ones, but it wasn't big enough for 2 people. So one person had that one half a little oar to go across, and then he was like, "You do it," So I had to go up and take this little thing across, got across, and we did this pulley system across. And I was like, well, this is pretty smart. Yeah. So we get it across, and we go up this pass, and it was it was about 12 hours in the alders, like not seeing any sunlight. Most miserable day of my life, you know. And you finally get above it in the moraine. You're like, oh God, it's so nice. Anyway, so we you know, successful or whatever, come down with the sheep, and we come down the other side of this like saddle, and there's a trail that someone had built. So we're like, damn, man, we could have hiked up here in 2 hours instead of 12. But it was nice to come down in the trail. So you know, and then we get to the bottom, and there's all these cottonwoods that are falling over. And so we have heavy backpacks, sheep. We have sheep in it. So I'm walking on this cottonwood tree, going across it and balancing, kind of like being a show off a little bit for my dad, you know, because I'm like 21, I can carry this, you know. And then I fall off the cottonwood tree with a 100-pound backpack, and it's like all Devil's Club. And ouch. Not shitting you, the Devil's Club comes and slaps against my ear.
Oh no.
And my arm's like pinned, so I can't get up, and I'm just like, Dad. And then I hear bzzz, and I start getting stung. And there's like a bee stuck between the Devil's Club and my ear. And I'm screaming like, oh, there's a bee. And my dad's now laughing at me, right? It's like probably the funniest thing he's ever seen. He's got this like show off kid, and then he falls, you know. So then he helps me up, and we have, man, I'm like, my ear's all swollen. I'm like, damn it. And so we get over to the river, and we're like, all right, cool. There's the raft. And the raft got eaten by a black bear.
It like chewed it up.
Yeah, it's gone. Like it's like totally destroyed. And my dad was like, oh yeah, I was thinking we should hang that in the tree. Like, yeah, that would have been a good idea. I was like, I didn't know that they would eat this. And he's like, yeah, the bears like to eat rubber. And
that's
like,
wild.
Damn it. So we're sitting there, and we got plenty of and then we ditched all of our mountain houses under this rock, and everyone else ahead of us had done that. Like we had found, it's like the only spot everyone would camp at.
Yeah. Okay.
And like everyone had used this stash. Okay. So we were like, okay, well, we'll leave them under here for other people too. So we always have sheep meat, because we thought we were getting home and eating pizza that night.
Yeah.
At that, what's the pizza place in?
Pizza Man.
Pizza Man. We thought we were getting we were talking about Pizza Man the whole day.
Oh yeah.
So then
man.
Coming out of the sheep hunt, dude, all you can think about is pizza.
Pizza and beer.
So then we spend the next 20 hours on the edge of the river, because you can't cross right there. And where we were, you wouldn't want to like hike up. So you could kind of see the Crow Pass trail through the woods. And so every time someone would come by, we would just like scream, like to get their attention, but the water was fast enough right there, they couldn't really hear us. And finally, like at like 8 o'clock at night, the second day, someone heard us, and they like came to the edge, and we're like, hey, call this phone number. And the next morning, my dad's buddy came up with the same Walmart wrap, but brand new. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was a pretty funny story. But
John says, now what you do, go to Walmart.
Oh man. Yeah.
Unless the sale's still going on in the Kemptons.
Go get the Seahawk 220.
Anyway, it was a fun adventure.
Seahawk 220. That's funny.
Isn't that funny? Like when you probably go to his house and you see the sheep on the wall, like only you know that backstory, how that damn thing got home. And somebody comes in, oh, that's a beautiful looking sheep. And it's like, yeah.
Yep,
Jack went through hell to get that thing out of here.
Well, and looking back, I'm like, man, those are like some of the best times. You know?
They are,
but for like the first couple of years after that, it wasn't the best of times.
Like
that's a great story.
The type 2 fun that's like fun later.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh.
Yeah. I remember because I missed my flight back to college because of that.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Well, I just got another one. So.
Did you guys see a lot of sheep? So what year was that?
2001. No, 2002.
Did you guys see a lot of sheep that trip?
There's 7 rams. There was one like mega ram that wouldn't come down, and we ran out of time. Like if I wasn't in college, we would have stayed longer.
Yeah, if you didn't have a time constraint.
The other ones would come down every day. I mean, we were within bow range of the other ones multiple days, and the big one just knew something was wrong. We don't know when we were in sight of that ram or what happened, because we were really well protected, but he knew it was up, and we had seen him come down before we had gone up into that saddle. Okay. So, or I guess it's a glacier bowl.
Maybe he caught a whiff of something, just something weird.
I think he probably saw us somehow.
Yeah, saw movement.
And these are like big sawtooth mountains where you can't really see where the rams go up at night. And anyway, yeah. But every day patterned them perfect. The other ones didn't know we were there. We didn't think. They came back the next day, and
it's incredible.
Yeah, but he got a monster ram still. Just the other one was like a real dandy.
He was up there, the old boy, for a reason.
Yeah, he was a real dandy.
Yeah,
way cool.
The kids say Mon.
They say the Mon instead of Dandy.
Oh, I get it.
Instead of Monster.
It took me a second, but I was like, I follow.
A real Dan. He's a real Dan.
Yeah.
Real Mon.
Let's take a quick shot for some of the sponsors on that one.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Arbor Digital, based in Anchorage, Alaska, is your go-to wealth management company. Arbor Digital is at the forefront of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. If you've been looking to invest your hard-earned money or just want to learn more about crypto, blockchain technology, or digital investments, give their website, acminc.com, a visit. What's great about Arbor is they provide a low-cost, transparent, research-based investment strategy for digital assets and traditional investments as well. acminc.com is your first step in putting your money to work. Let one of Arbor's investment professionals walk you through your options for financial growth and security. Start investing for the future today at acminc.com. Arbor Digital, your Alaskan digital asset company.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. So, Sarah, I had a question for you. Mm-hmm. Since you have a passion for hiking, where did that develop? Like, what got you going on that?
My parents took us hiking like when I was a kid. That was like a very like normal go-to weekend activity.
Like certain locations or certain weekends, or there's like an annual thing you did, or did you guys just always like try to find a new adventure mostly?
We had like our go-tos, like, and they would rent public use cabins and always kind of make it like a big, like exciting event.
Yeah.
And they did like,
that's badass.
It was super cool. And they would involve us in like the process. So like my mom would talk to us about like menu planning and what we wanted to bring with us. And then we could go on like our camping, shopping, like grocery shopping trip. And they'd always talk about like the importance of gear, and like when we outgrew gear, like we go to REI, and like they made it really cool and involved us in all of those like aspects of hiking and being in the outdoors. So, and like if we ever had free time, they'd be like, oh, well, let's go hop up Blueberry Hill, or let's go like blueberry picking. My mom makes jam every year, so like getting out and like hiking in the fall was like something we all like look forward to. And so yeah, they just like really included us and like made us feel really involved in what we were doing. And like they'd ask us like, hey, like what cabin do you want to go to this summer? Or like what these are some new cabins we're looking at, like which one looks cool to you?
So you guys had some skin in the game.
Yeah, it was really fun. Super cool. So and they really encouraged like having fun in the outdoors, and like on camping trips they'd let us each invite like one friend.
Cool.
So
what age did that start? Like, when was that? Like, a parent was like, yeah, you can go with that family up there to that high peak and camp?
It's cool because we have family friends who used to go with us. Oh. And I went to Bowman Optional Program, Bowman Elementary School. And a lot of the families are like pretty like outdoor forwards, I would say. And so they would schedule, like they'd plan trips with other families. So then it was kind of built in, and then there was like trust with the parents. So then like they'd have like let other kids come with you on trips.
Little network.
Yeah. So that was cool. I think some of my favorite, one of my favorite like public use cabins was the Red Shirt Lake cabins. Cabin 1 is the big cabin you get to canoe to, and it's on an island, so you get the island to yourself. And my parents are pretty like relaxed. They let us like go canoe off. They'd be like, "Hey, have fun! Like, be back by dinner." And we just like take the canoes and off we go. So yeah, that's where I got my like love for the outdoors and hiking. And
well, it sounds like they had trust and faith in you too. I mean, that's, for helicopter parents, I definitely have been, guilty of being one. That would be hard to, I think about take my kids out in the woods and let them go rip on a canoe.
Yeah.
Right now. Like,
if
they're teaching you all the rules and all the safety stuff and involving you that much, I guess you probably have a good idea of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And they were like, they're like big advocates for safety and like wilderness safety. Like we all had swim lessons because like growing up in Alaska, somebody is going to have a cabin or a boat or a raft or a house by water. So just like making sure that we were safe, and we always wore our life jackets. We didn't like push those boundaries because then consequences, like you wouldn't be able to go and nobody wants to sit at the cabin all day. So and they were pretty good. Like, even if like we weren't in sight, like I felt like they would know. I'm a terrible liar. They would know if I didn't have my life jacket on.
Looking down at your feet. No,
my mom can still look at me and be like, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. So
they can see right through you.
Oh, 100%.
I have a super random question, really off topic, but you brought it up with the jam and your mom thing. Is there a jamboree, like a jam competition in Alaska?
There should be.
I would want to be a judge. I'm a jam connoisseur, and I'm thinking like, because we had Erica on, and I know several other people that make their own jams. It's like, man, there's got to be like, boom, you're voted the top jam.
Yeah,
I mean,
of the year or whatever.
My mom taught me her secret for blueberry jam. I'm not going to say what it is, but like,
okay,
everyone has their
we
own.
We need to set that up where it's like we have whatever it might be. Whoever wants to put in their jam to win the jamboree.
All right, here's what we'll do. We'll plan the Alaska Wild Project Jamboree.
Yeah.
And you'll be jelly if you miss it.
Oh, yes.
That's the slogan at the bottom.
Okay, it's on. It's on. We're going to set it up.
I mean, I really feel like something like that would blow up because there's a lot of jam makers out there, closet ones that are just like making some top secret things that they don't really like to share with like a family member or two.
Yeah. So send your jam to 111 East Dowling Road.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know if you're in the competition.
It's blowing up a lot too. Now people are making jams for meats and fish, and it's really cool.
The canning
spicy jams.
Game is fun. And I agree. There's a lot more variety now, and I think people are experimenting a lot more. And especially since COVID, I think like cooking and creativity is really like blown up.
Yeah.
Just from what I've been seeing. So
is that the jamboree definition?
Blown up?
No, like just like a jam competition.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm curious about that now.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up too. I found.
Or like origin. What's the origin?
A large celebration or party, typically lavish and boisterous one. Okay. Well, we want to change that up.
Yeah, it's going to be
search origin. Jamboree origin.
Sounds like a party.
That's a party I'd go to. That sounds like fun.
Jamboree is an American English invention from the 1860s. The word's origin isn't certain, although experts suspect a connection of chivalry or charivari, a French folk tradition of greeting a newly married couple by making a whole lot of noise in a mock serenade.
So is that like the princess and prince come out of the castle and they're like...
They're throwing the
jamboree?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to redefine the word.
Yeah.
That's right.
The jamboree.
AWP style.
Jamboree. You'll be jelly.
Jelly.
Even though I really like jelly too.
Yeah, jelly's good.
I like jam on like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I think I like jelly if it's toast.
Ooh.
Or biscuit or something.
Yeah.
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 Have you ever had on a grilled cheese sandwich?
My mom used to make us ham, jam, and cheese sandwiches.
Ham, jam, and cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham, jam, and cheese. How about peanut butter and cheese?
I haven't tried that.
Ooh, I haven't tried that either. My
I'm
mom
not
used-
picky,
ooh, that's
though.
good.
Try it.
I will.
Yeah, are you a peanut butter gal?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you'll like it.
Yeah, but like
Some Tillamook?
crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter.
Oh,
I did
Skippy
both.
or
I
Jif?
did both, and the crunchy wasn't as drippy,
Yep.
right? Because it gets hot and the peanut butter melts. So
Yep.
creamy was like very messy. Mm-hmm. But you got the crunch.
Well, what do you prefer?
Oh, what I prefer, I'd say crunchy.
I think
like
crunchy.
the texture.
Yeah.
The crunch.
I vote crunchy.
And then
Oh,
the
crunchy?
cheese kind of holds the nuts kind of in the sandwich better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I will try the sandwich.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Have you done the with pickles?
Sharp cheddar if you can.
Yep.
Peanut butter and pickles?
Old Kobe.
Peanut
Old
butter
Kobe
jelly
Jack,
and
or where it's
pickles.
like mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
That's pretty
Yeah,
bomb.
give it a shot.
That's
not
like a
done
good
that.
like high protein snack. That's not peanut butter and jelly. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's very high protein calories in all of it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we're smooth,
I had a
creamy.
question circling back to the hiking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned your favorite state cabin,
Uh-huh.
or not state cabin, but what do we call it?
Public use cabin.
Public use cabin. What's like a favorite hike?
Oh.
I know that's like kind of a hard one, and it's kind of a cliche question, but like everybody's got like
I don't think it's a
a
cliche
view
question.
or something about a location that they love, right?
So I think I took like in my early 20s, I stopped hiking for a couple of years. I don't really know why. I just kind of got out of the groove.
Other interests?
You're at the Pio.
No.
Dancing all night.
I was
Somebody
never
says.
like a downtown Anchorage person.
Oh, really?
No.
Good.
Oh, you didn't get down there?
There's nothing good down there.
No.
Yeah, wear some really uncomfortable heels.
I'm not a heels person either.
Why am I
But
wearing these things?
well, I think one of my I'm very fond of is like the Little O'Malley Gully. When I did start getting back into trail running, that was kind of my go-to after work because there's usually I have for hiking or running by myself, there's the checklist, and that is, are there cars in the parking lot? What's the weather forecast? And did you bring everything? So that means bear spray, water, snacks, mini first aid kit. And if all of those were checked off, that's where I would go by myself.
And be good with it.
Yeah, and be comfortable. So that was always really fun. And then that one's fun because there's an option, if you're feeling great, you can go longer and go to the overlook.
Yeah.
And then if you're feeling super zendy, you can drop down and do the whole loop, the Willowa Lakes loop, and it connects you back up to the trailhead. So I think that's probably still my favorite.
Gives you
because,
variety.
Yeah, there's variety. Or you can hop up the ridgeline and just kind of walk to False Peak and kind of
Yep.
play
You can
around
kind
up
of
there.
sneak around False Peak a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun.
Too. Yeah. There's always sheep up there.
Yeah.
And then
Something
coming
to
down,
see.
if you come back that same way, you in June, early July, you get that luge,
Yeah.
and that luge is just epic.
It's it's super fun. And it is fun. And you usually run into people that you know because it's a pretty popular trail, but it's not quite flat top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I think is my favorite, go-to by myself hike.
And it's a kid-friendly one.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
The
I've
kids
heard
did it
about
last
that
year.
a million times. I'm like, man, I just got to grab one of the kids and go do that.
They just put switchbacks in over the past 2 summers.
Oh, cool.
So you can still go up the chute and just go straight up if you want to, or you can do switchbacks that go most of the way up, and it's super nice.
Perfect for the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, it's awesome. And there's blueberry snacks later in
Yeah.
August. So
Yeah.
Sweet.
good stuff.
There's a lot of moose around there to call in, too.
Yes.
Practice your call sessions.
You can. There's
Sounds
a shit
fun.
ton of them in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good hike.
I am very fond of that hike.
What
Yeah.
about a expedition or long distance or overnight multi overnighter?
So we have that. We have a couple planned, I think, this summer. My friends and I do. And that's another thing. I haven't done a hiking backpack trip before. I've only ever.
Oh, really?
No. So, like I said, I spent a lot of time hiking by myself before I met people who were kind of
Sure.
into it and wanted to go.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm thankful for Instagram for that, for meeting those people. It's really cool. So, We talked about doing Kasugi Ridge this summer potentially.
You're talking our game.
That's fun. And then
Perfect.
one of my friends planned, it's still kind of in the works, we're going to do, I think, the Chilkoot Trail later in September. You can do a section of it. I think it's over 2 nights or 3 nights. But you have to book camp 2 nights. But you have to book campsites along the way, and you have to get a permit.
Oh, it's that busy?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It does.
But it's probably worth it.
I think. I mean, I haven't done it,
Yeah,
so I'm
for
excited.
sure. There's so
I'm
much
just going to do
history.
it for one time. Or, I mean, the one thing to look forward to this year is that particular location.
So I think that was being discussed a couple weeks ago, and then
Why September?
what's that? There's like a
Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day
Labor
weekend.
Day.
Oh, it's just because it's a nice time to get out of town.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
people don't have to like kind of like schedule work
Yeah.
schedules,
Yeah.
and it's just a little more convenient for people. And then I think we want to just go do just like for fun weekend trips. Go up to what is Symphony Lakes?
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun
Eagle
one.
River.
It's really pretty. And then I want to go hike up Bear Mountain in Jugiak. It's a pretty short hike, but it's beautiful up there, and it's fun to just do a overnight
Yeah.
up there. So
Probably
Lots of
be a good one
berries
to
up there.
practice if you were just going to do like a one nighter minimum gear.
I think that will be like the beta trip, so I
There
can
you
kind of
go.
like get everything
Yeah.
figured out, and I'll bring Cooper, my dog, with me, and it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
So,
Do they cooperate?
the dogs,
Yeah.
Cooper, is wonderful.
Okay.
He's very obedient. He like loves you a little too much. Like he's like
Stays close and listens and
stays
stuff.
close. Like you can look at him and he'll just roll over. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like,
Yeah.
Juno.
Which one is Coop? The Husky?
No, Cooper is
Is this
the
one here?
No, that's my friend Andrea's dog, Frodo.
The homie's dog.
Oh, Coopy doesn't get no love on the Instagram?
Well, Cooper's only 2, so he's fairly
he's fresh.
fairly
He's
new to the
fresh, he's
crew.
fresh.
Okay.
Okay, so
he's
you
just
want
now
to the
starting to
top.
get authorized to go out and.
But Juno looks like he's hit some peaks.
Yes, Juno has come with me, but she can't be off leash. She's a bit of a flight risk. So she'll come back like 80% of the time. A Garmin e-collar is next on the gear list for her.
Yeah.
So
Garmin e-collar.
yeah, so
Totally makes sense. Just never thought of that.
Yep. So it
Way cool.
it has like a tracker on it, so I would just feel way more comfortable if I knew where she was.
Yes.
Like I wouldn't use like the shock on her, and like if I were to introduce that, I'd probably hire a trainer for a couple of
Yeah.
sessions, because I really feel strongly about learning how to do that properly. I think a lot of people do it incorrectly, and it's kind of psychologically damaging to a dog if you don't do it the right way. But so that's next on the list. So she has to be on leash on hikes, which is fine. But sometimes on the downhill, it really wrecks your knees.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and you're barking at her all the time, right?
Well, that
Like,
collar thing works because the really smart dogs, you only need to shock them like once or twice.
Yeah.
And then once you pre-do the beep, then that's it. They know.
and all the people I see out hiking with a husky, they have the e-collar, and they're like and I ask them like, how do you like it? And they just hit the beep, and the dog is right there.
Yes,
just-
because they know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're smart.
Yeah.
They will not
Yeah,
like that
they
shock.
know what the consequence is.
And they know the
Yeah.
beep next is the shock if they're
Yeah.
not right next to you.
That's right. And always shock yourself first, so you know like how.
Oh,
strong
yeah.
it
Oh,
is.
I
Oh, you got
absolutely
to.
agree, because like I
That's
feel
a fun
like
time.
you need to like understand like what they're receiving, so you're
Yeah.
not like, because I think a lot of people are kind of like trigger happy with that if they don't understand like what.
You should
or they
definitely
just have
post
a really
that.
rambunctious
Yeah.
dog.
When you shock yourself, you got to put a story on that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You're like, I can't do it. Someone do it for me.
Hit the button.
But no, Cooper's a great dog. He's very obedient, and he's great like for the raft, because he'll just kind of hang out and he'll always come right back. And Juno just kind of sits up on her perch. We call her Princess Bug, and she just kind of sits there and judges everyone. And
Yeah. Our family's a big rafting family. I know Jack's is too. Do you guys, what I found to be really beneficial on the raft, I don't know if you guys do it. I put a table that fits on the width of the boat on the back with like that stuff that you put in your shelving so that they don't slip.
Yeah.
So that the
Okay.
dog can be in the back standing up, because we
Okay.
had a Weimaraner that was like just trying to like be all over the place. But if we had the table in the back with that like slip free stuff, she could actually just pace back and forth in there and stand there.
okay.
Do you guys' dogs like in the boat?
So we have like on the frame we have it's kind of like a really like coarse like mesh almost, so it breathes really well because Juno gets really hot in the summer, and they can stand on it just fine. It's like pulled, it's like strapped down tightly.
Okay, gotcha.
And then Cooper usually sits up in the front by my feet because he's just kind of a mama's boy, so he just hangs out there. And then
Be close.
yeah, and then Juno just sits on the back and like watches everyone. And then she'll like jump in when she gets too hot, and then we'll pull her back out. She likes water, which is not.
You got the cool
typical.
like life jacket thing.
Yes.
You can grab them out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, we've got one for each of them. Cooper doesn't like it. He always gets nervous, and then Juno just kind of is like, "Okay, I'm ready to go."
Yeah, it's hot.
So
Yeah.
Do you shave
yeah.
Juno's?
no, we don't shave her. I do take her to the groomer twice in the spring just to get all of her undercoat out. But she adjusts pretty well to the temperature, and she'll keep blowing her coat until she's like comfortable and can like regulate her like her body temperature, and then she'll stop shedding.
Yeah.
So
Is that how that works?
So that's why we'll see dogs like Siberian Huskies who live in like Hawaii or Texas. Like they'll adjust. They just need a little bit of time. So
That's crazy.
Yeah. But
You guys have any cool floats planned?
we did a really cool one last summer. We took the whistle stop train out of Talkeetna and we got dropped off at
Spencer?
no, I think it was Ptarmigan Creek.
Okay.
I think I have to go. Sometimes I forget things. I get
Is it
really
Indian?
stoked. Maybe
Indian River.
maybe.
Okay.
I have to go again. I get really excited and then
Was
I
it
kinda,
clear?
Yeah, very clear.
yeah.
I kind of goldfish and I'll forget what I'm talking about, and then it'll come back.
Yeah.
There it is.
So we took the whistle stop and brought the raft and the frame and everything, and that was really cool. It was super fun. But that river was so log jammed. It was the first portage. I was like, okay, it's fine. It's great. Took everything out of the boat, hauled it over. The second log jam, I was like, okay, it's got to be the last one.
Was it briefly after the first one?
Yes, it was like around the next bend, and it was hot. We're like sweating in our waders. The third one was like as tall as I was. Like we had to take the frame off, and we had to portage everything quite a ways. But then that was the last one.
Oh, nice,
So,
nice.
All in one day?
You're
yeah,
real
that
happy.
was like in like a 2-hour time period, and then we pulled off to camp, but it was worth it. There was really great fishing.
What'd you catch?
They were just fishing. We were all fishing just for salmon. So our friend was visiting from the East Coast, so he really had his heart set on catching like every single type
Oh, okay.
of salmon, which he did not.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's pretty hard.
But he was just stoked to catch anything.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun.
Oh, it sounds like a great trip.
It was great.
Started off a little rough, though.
Yeah.
You're almost questioning, like, why did we do this?
I kind of got really quiet and stopped talking because I was like,
That's what I
It's
do.
funny how that happens, right?
Yeah. Done with this.
Nothing coming out of my mouth is going to be positive. I'm just going to keep it to myself.
keep it to myself. But this summer we're looking.
hard to do.
We're looking at floating. Again, I'm forgetting the name. It would be a fly out trip, and it's kind of up. I can't remember.
Lake Creek?
No attack.
Maybe.
There's only 1,000 we can name.
Do you kind of remember where you're going up to, like Dillingham or like an actual like bush town or
I
something
think-
that you're going out to first?
I think it was. I want to say it started with a C. The Chulitna.
Chilitna.
But
I think that's the one Thompson then got their first
so
one.
I'll be honest, when it comes to rafting trips, like Nick is like the planner, and I pack food
Nice.
and
Hey,
menu
everybody's
plan,
got their
and
role.
That's
Everybody's
my
got their
role.
role.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not an expert on like where we're going.
Yeah,
but, like,
looking at
I'll
the
let
maps
you
and the logistics.
know.
That's his part.
That's Nick's jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm really good at like packing and like menu planning.
So you're
and-
going up north, like past Talkeetna, about up there? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
I think
the
so.
Chulitna, that would make sense.
So
Chulitna too. Where would you dump out at? The
That's like right before Cantwell, and you go down to. It's a bridge to bridge, I want to say, right? Oh, no, you're flying on that one, you said. Or no, that's a different one. The Chulitna, I think it's bridge to bridge.
it's not a fly out.
Yeah, and we're still kind of like coordinating summer trips.
Oh, you don't have every weekend planned?
Not yet. It will be, but so
I was supposed to do that.
Yeah. It's weird how you go back and forth. Like, you know, I used to plan them all, and I have none planned. Like outside of like our sheep hunt and moose hunt, nothing.
I know.
This is the first time I have like minimum, maybe like 4.
I'm just playing it by ear.
Yeah.
Oh, and Memorial Day, but that's it.
I bet there's more.
Maybe I'll get there one of these days.
Yeah, this is like a weird year for me. I'm usually like very organized and like with it on the trip planning, and like this year it's kind of all been not.
The spontaneous trips there's something to it that it's just great. You're like, okay, well the weather's really nice north, so I'm going north.
Yeah, and then I'm sure you can find like you talk to 10 people, they're doing 10 different things.
Oh yeah,
and like okay, well these people are gonna go north, we're gonna go that way.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a homebody sometimes. I like doing the stuff that I know is fun and I know I enjoy. So like I'll probably hike Wolverine like twice or like 3 times this summer just because I like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And but like the bigger trips, like I said, Nick is kind of the coordinator. So I know there's some planned. I didn't get to talk to him about it because he's hunting this week.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So.
You have that Kasugi plan though. Brandon and us have done that with our wives.
Okay.
That's a really good one.
I'm kind of worried about the caterpillars this year. I know they were an issue last year. Did you guys hear about those?
We didn't go last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I have not heard about a caterpillar issue.
What was that issue?
So there is this species up there, and I believe that they're moths, but the caterpillars are like they're black.
You got the spikes on them,
and they're spiky, and like
they're nasty.
And you should be mindful and like careful if you have little kiddos that you're hiking with, and like put them in rain suits when they go, because if you touch the spines, you get like a horrible rash.
Oh,
I got one. It got stuck on the in between like the tongue of my shoe and my top of my foot.
Ankle.
Yeah, and I took my shoe off and it was all like smeared, and I was like, oh no. And the rash went like up my calf. It was so itchy and bumpy and uncomfortable. And it took like a week for it to go away.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, last summer, later in the fall, Kasugi was like covered. Like I saw pictures on the hiking page, and like the sign was just like covered in
the
caterpillars.
Yeah.
And like people's tents in the morning were just like covered.
Oh,
wow.
That's in the fall. That or like August.
Yeah.
It's like an early mid-August time.
Yeah.
And those things like
And they
hatch
eat
out of their cocoon or whatever.
Yeah, and they eat the blueberry plants, like the leaves. So it's like it was kind of a problem for blueberry picking.
Yeah, Rena sat on one of those at South Raleigh Lake, and it like punctured through her like she was wearing like yoga pants.
Yeah.
And it like crunched, and she's like, "Ew." We get home that was like on a Saturday. We get home on Monday morning. She's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
It had to be that caterpillar.
Oh yeah.
They're all over our tent. Like the wind would blow, and then they'd all shake out of the tree.
No.
And, oh, they're nasty.
So
Really? I
I
never
think
heard of that.
We're
Yeah, that's
planning
crazy.
on trying to like do that like probably very early August or like late July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did like
We're doing. What are we doing?
like 17th, 18th of June. Was when
Okay.
we went 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still some snow up there. Bugs are really bad.
Oh,
Yeah, bugs are really bad.
Okay.
Maybe
The last
if you go,
section, the
maybe
way
if you
out
go like
insane. Those
that
bugs.
like late July or like later July, because that's what we got planned for this year. We're gonna do like the mid to late July
Okay.
move. My wife and I might try and do it on the 10th of June that weekend. And I've never done it that early, so I kind of want to go see what the conditions are like that early in
Okay.
terms of like snowpack and how far you can go and the campsites, are they really available? And
Yeah.
because there's like only a couple of really good camp spots, depending on like how far you go on that, because you can do Ermine if you start at the furthest north point, then you can come down out of Ermine, then Byers Lake.
Okay.
And I think the last one's like Troublesome Creek. But we do the Little Cole to Ermine, which is
Okay.
like 17, 18 miles, and we'll just do that over the weekend, like super chill.
Well, that's fun.
Lots of breaks. We bring wine. I mean, it's like a total. It's like a full
Yeah,
glamping
bougie
backpack.
hike.
It's a bougie hike. Yeah,
Full
it's like
bouge.
not minimal
That's so
stuff.
fun
you
though.
know. I'm still hauling like a 75-pound backpack.
It's just a little bit dressed up.
Yeah, but it makes it for a really fun experience. You bring lots of good food and snacks and the
Yeah.
wine, and take your time, kick your
Yeah.
boots off, put them in the creek, cool your feet off. Like
Yeah.
there's no big time crunch.
That sounds fun.
And the views of Denali are epic.
That's what I'm
catch
really,
it at the right time.
really excited about. And I'm like, there's certain hikes I'm not like, there's trail running and then there's hiking. And like, I feel like backpacking is going to lean more in the like hiking, kind of like leisurely, not as intense. especially if it's a weekend trip like that. You're not like
it's what you make it too.
Yeah,
you know, you can make it like we got to get there by this time, and you're just like on a mission.
Yep.
We ran into a group of folks. They were elderly folks, probably in their like mid to late 60s, and it was really cool shit to see this like group of folks out getting after it. Well, there's this old codger up ahead, just like, I can't stand listening to this goddamn woman yapping her jaw off, and I just had to pull away. So he passes by us on Saturday night, and then so he's like camped somewhere down the line and then finished out Tuesday. Meanwhile, his group comes in like the next morning. And so he ended up being pissy and then walking all the way out to Ermine and then waiting for like 14 hours for the rest of the group. And I'm just like, you remember that guy? And he had the skidded up knees because he fell, and he was just all like,
in
the
rough
bad mood.
weekend.
well, and he's down there sitting on the hood of his car eating a Mountain House. And I'm like, dude, in the time you could have drove down to the lodge and had a burger.
Yeah.
But the point I was going to make was like, why are you going to go on a hike with a group if that's
Not.
if you're going to be like, we got to get there? Like, nah,
that's
dude.
your
You go with
attitude.
if you're going to go with 12 people, you go with the pace of the 12
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's an
like-
acceptance that you're making. Like, this isn't a hardcore hike. You're going to go as fast as the slowest person.
We call that party pace.
Party pace.
Party pace.
There it is.
So like it's
Nice,
just kind of like fun. Like everyone's together. Like
Yeah.
you don't. There's like on some hikes, you don't go like faster than the slowest person, like you were saying. And then if anyone's feeling uncomfortable at any point or unsafe and like wants to turn back, like, okay, like totally. There's no pushback. There's no trying to convince the other person, like, no, like let's just keep going. Like there's always like safety net. We can turn around. Not a problem.
Yeah. That's pretty nice.
That's
We
a cool
haven't
way
done
to
a
do it.
group anything outside of like 2 couples, but I thought it'd be fun to do like maybe 6 to 8 people tops.
I think for
you
like an
know, like-
overnight trip,
Yeah, like a multi-overnighter.
I think that's the maximum amount I would do.
Well, plus you need tent space
Yeah,
for everybody
just
too.
because of tent space, not
Yeah.
like. I knew a group of people who did Crow Pass a couple 2 summers ago, and they went with like 14 people, and it was fun, but it was I think a little crowded.
Yeah.
I feel like that would turn into a real world episode real fast.
That's funny.
Where the camera's on the side, just like listening to this gal talk shit about this dude. Like,
Because you know it's gonna happen.
and this guy's just a diva.
Yeah, I think with that one we have it planned for 2 separate weekends because it's one
Okay.
like you really want to time it where you're going to be able to see Denali.
Yeah,
Or it's like, what's the point? I mean, we
Yeah.
can just hike anything then.
yeah.
So you want to go there and
Good
get
tune-up
that
for
view.
sheep hunting though. That later one, that's a good tune-up.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny what you said about the views. My friends and I were just talking. Like, there's some hikes if it's not nice weather, like we're not gonna.
Yeah, why go?
I'm not going. Like,
I would advise you to do that on the Kasugi if you can have some spontaneous like planning in that, like where you can have like, let's try to go in these 3 weekends. If
Okay.
you can do that,
Yeah.
and then just do it by the weather.
Yeah.
Because if you can really nail it where you can get a view of the mountain, it just makes it
Well, and
that much
backpacking
more.
in soggy weather.
Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Especially if it's buggy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It becomes more of a tolerating experience than like a fun,
Yeah.
like I love this experience.
Yeah.
It can shift just like that.
Yeah.
Just like your little portage thing was probably more like wow.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Made the rest of it joyous though, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the rest of the time it was super fun. It was great.
Yeah.
But
I know sometimes you wonder why did I what
I know. I was like, what am I doing here? And I was like, why didn't you? I was like, you said there'd be like one portage. And he said, I said there may be one. And
Yeah,
there
he didn't really
may be
quite
more.
know.
You never know. You never know.
Okay.
What about outside Alaska hikes? You done any of those
I
or have plans?
I love Lake Tahoe. I love hiking there. I would really love to do the Pacific Crest Trail. That I want to do that so bad. I think that would be really fun. One of my dad's friends did it over 2 summers. He retired and did it over 2 summers and had a great time. So that's definitely on my top on my bucket list. I don't need to do all of it, but I would like to hike a couple of sections, I think.
You know what they call when you don't do the whole thing at once and you only do parts of it?
What?
You remember? We just had a guy, Sean Sexton, was just on the show a couple before you, and that's what he does. He does super long distance. He's on like the PCT. He's done the Continental Divide, the Appalachian Trail,
So
like all these super crazy, really, really, really long ones. But he does them in sections.
Okay.
And there's a nickname for that.
I'm like, I must know.
Lasher.
Lasher.
That's right.
Lasher.
What was that again? Why was it?
Why was it a lasher?
Is it like
Yeah.
an acronym for something?
No, it was LA.
It was like because he's lashing them together, right?
Oh,
Okay, that's what it is.
That makes
Lasher.
sense.
Yeah,
That's what it
Lasher.
was.
Can I get one of those, Jackie, baby?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You
'Cause
guys
like-
need another beverage real quick?
Yeah, I would take another
I'm
beverage.
okay. I'm
You
okay,
good?
thank you.
Yeah,
Jackie,
can I
you
get
got a
one of
freshie?
the farmhouse ones?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Farmhouse hop.
Farmhouse hop.
But yeah, that's definitely on my. I want to do that so bad.
Which sections?
So I would really like to do the first section. So I read the book.
With the girl?
Yeah, with
Oh,
Cheryl
that was a good
Strayed.
book.
It was a
I
good
read that book.
And then now
Oh,
it's
what's
a
that
movie.
one called?
It's
Oh, they did make the movie.
with.
That was a really good book. I should look it up.
It was a good book. It was very inspiring.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
You did? I read the book. I
Yeah.
didn't watch the movie.
Um.
PCT book.
Yep. It should pop right up.
Oh yeah, what's it called?
I kind of.
It kind of had like a Wonderlandy name, right?
Yeah. The book was. I didn't watch the movie, but it didn't pop up right away.
Type in Cheryl Strayed, maybe.
What is it?
Cheryl Strayed is the author's name.
I want to say Sheryl Crow. Cheryl Strayed. Wild.
Wild. Yes.
Alaska
Wow.
Wild Project. With Cheryl Strayed. That was actually a really good book.
Yeah, it was great. So I would like to do that section, and then I would like to do the section coming into Lake Tahoe, just because I'm so familiar with the area and I'm just so fond of it. I also have a lot of family who lives in California, and they spend a lot of time up at Tahoe. So I think it'd be fun to like backpack for a week and then meet them there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you should go back and listen to Sean's episode. He talks a lot
Okay.
about all these long ones he does, and you know, the gear and how he plans out to have like food stops, because
yeah,
it's different than here where you're just going like wilderness to wilderness, but there you're actually like coming up on certain parts. And a big thing was the water.
Okay.
He was saying how they have like water stations, which is really cool, which
Yeah.
they don't have that here anywhere, right?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Well, there's a lot of fresh water.
Yeah, we've got.
What do you use for water?
So I drink a ton of water, which is kind of like a little
Good.
problematic sometimes on like longer hikes because I don't like running out. I'm the like chronic overpacker on trips. My friends poke fun of me a lot because I'll bring like a big backpack just for a day hike. They're like, "Are you camping?" Or like, no.
Or do you do water bottle, or do you do the Camelback thing?
So I do. I have a 3-liter bag, a Camelback bag, and a hose, and then if I know it's gonna be a really long day, I'll bring like a filtration system just for backup. Sometimes I haven't done that too often, and usually I only end up drinking 2 liters of water anyways.
Yeah.
So, but
What do you use for filtration? The Sawyer, one of the Sawyer ones?
yeah, one of the Sawyer ones just for day, and then we just got I forgot the brand. I think it's MSR, but the ones that you like hang, it's the Gravity.
Oh yeah, those
awesome.
are nice.
Yeah.
For like rafting and stuff like that, those big ones are amazing.
That raft trip, like we ran out of water and like I had to go sit and pump water for everybody when it was my turn. And I was like, this sucks.
No,
like,
those
there's
ones that
gotta
are
be
like a
better
water bag
way.
are awesome. Like I bought 2 during when the pandemic hit. Everyone's buying water bottles. I went and bought like 2 of those things.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this is going to be
That's
way
a
better
good
than that.
idea.
Yeah, totally.
And then for like the little trips, Jackie and I just actually tested out the UV light. Was it called though? What's that called?
Still blows me away.
It's some with the S. Fuck, I should know.
Sterile wand.
Stereo pen.
Steripen. Yeah,
Steripen.
That's cool. I've seen the one that's like a straw that you can just like put it in the river, but I haven't.
That one's
No, this,
awesome.
Yeah, the Steripen, because you just bring a, your normal water bottle, and this is actually the one that I have,
What?
and it literally takes like however much, like 60 seconds to just any water, and it's just like perfect.
I love gear. I'm kind of a gearhead. This is really cool.
It's really cool, and you can charge it with USB. So if you have like a little portable charger, like we bring for
the
like
solar.
GoPros and stuff like that. So this is actually the exact same one
Did you
that I
guys
have.
ever have to charge it?
No, It lasted the whole time. I mean, it lasted for a long time.
What did it say on the box? Like 50? It can do like 50 rounds or something.
Does it? I see that
On
there's
one
like
charge.
a number. Does it say?
That probably says how many you have left
Okay.
before you have to charge it.
Oh, or is that the one where it's counting down?
It could be either or.
'Cause it
I think it
counts
does
down,
both,
too.
but it has the instructions right there. Like you can see, like one bottle, 1 liter takes this
Okay.
amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a gearhead, definitely go look at that.
They're
Oh, I'm
super
going
cool.
to.
And
This is
sooner than
cool.
later, because when you go, there's obviously a bunch of options. I think this one is probably the best one because you can USB charge it.
Okay.
It's not batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love rechargeable.
Yeah. And these are really good for backpacking. I mean, because we always did just the iodine tablets, but it's so bad for your gut health. That,
Yeah.
You know, switching over to this last year was really awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I was just like pounding the athletic greens before we switched to this.
Yeah. Oh, mix it for the flavor.
No, because the iodine is messing up my stomach, you know. So
Bad
then
for, like,
I
your
was
gut
eating
health.
all the
Yeah. Oh,
the
gotcha.
athletic greens have all the probiotics in it. So
Yep.
it's like pounding that to like make up for
In preparation or like
Yeah.
afterwards.
after because you're using it all day, right? The iodine, you know. But yeah, this was really cool.
Yeah, that one's definitely certified.
Yeah, it was certified for sure.
And
And
they're
it's
getting
cool
better,
in the dark,
smaller,
then
and cool, and it glows, and it like gives you a little smile when it's ready.
yeah.
Oh, I
It wa-
appreciate that. That's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
It's like
In-
you're not
in
going to
the-
get diarrhea.
in the tent in the dark, it was pretty rad. We had like a light show.
Yeah.
yeah, I
so
remember
fun.
seeing that video. That was badass.
Yeah, you could, what do you call this?
Oh.
Do the,
Yeah, EDM is
do the rave.
No, there's a word for that. What is that?
I don't
No, techno
know.
rave like.
Oh man.
I was going to
Anyway.
say rave,
You
but
need to go to my
What about winter hiking?
I love winter hiking. And I feel very fortunate. I finally got to take my avalanche level 1 course this past winter.
Who'd you do it with?
Alaska Avalanche School. It took a really long. It took me I started backcountry skiing 3 years ago, and it's taken me 3 years to get into a course. So I was super stoked to get in, and I learned a lot. I think one of the biggest things though, taking that course, I was like, there are definitely some hikes I should not have gone on. Like
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
so
yeah.
dumb. But I love winter hiking. I think I have more winter hiking gear than summer hiking gear. But again, I have like my go-to ones that I really enjoy doing in the winter. And then there's some that I'm not comfortable doing. Like I think in the winter, if it requires like mountaineering equipment,
Yeah,
I'm
that's next level.
that's
Yeah,
probably a little out of my comfort
Yeah,
zone.
step off that one.
But winter hiking I love, mostly because no bears, which is always exciting.
bugs.
No
Yeah.
bugs. I don't mind hiking in the dark. So like coming down the mountain in the dark doesn't typically bother me because there's just less wildlife. And if you have a headlamp, you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great way to get outside in the winter. Like I love skiing, but there's just something about hiking that I really enjoy. I think it's my favorite. Like if you out of like backcountry skiing or cross country skiing, I think hiking is still my favorite winter activity.
You have one of the rechargeable
Great.
headlamps?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they're getting so
Yeah,
nice
they
are.
with those.
Yeah, that thing's pretty sweet, isn't it? And they last a while.
They
They
last a long time.
Yeah.
they last a lot longer because there's no batteries. I think that's improved the time as well. But
Yeah, they're getting crazy.
What are some of your
with
favorite winter hikes?
What's this one right here?
so we did Canchi and Canoia. It's behind the dome.
It looks
Okay.
like a springy.
That was
Kinda
kind
time.
of like this time last year.
Okay.
And that's with my friend Mary Kate.
Oh, there's Coop. Was that Coop there?
No, that was
Oh, that's your
Frodo.
friend's dog.
That's
Frodo?
Yep,
Frodo.
I love
Frodo. And then so that was up on Gold Star Peak. We did that this winter.
What a beautiful.
Are you
day.
wearing you wearing like running shoes, or you got some waterproof boots there?
So I was wearing, for that hike, winter hikes, I always wear mountaineering boots. And they have a really stiff like bed, so they don't flex.
Like a shank in there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You can
then
put crampons on them if you
yeah,
need to.
and I always wear my Catulas over the top of them. Some of my friends will wear their Solomon Trail Runners in the winter with gaiters, and they'll screw just screws into the bottom of them. But I really like to have just extra ankle stability.
What did you say?
with you there.
Catulas?
Catulas,
What's that?
they're just like ice spikes. They're like, you probably have seen people outside wearing them. They're like pink or black. They kind of like go like around the.
Just kind of clip
around
onto
the
the
bottom of
front.
your foot?
Yeah,
to
and
the bottom?
in the heel.
Okay.
And they have like kind of aggressive spikes on the bottom.
Okay.
And then last Wednesday, my friends and I did Rainbow Peak, and I wore my studded trail runners. They're Innovates, and they have pretty aggressive. I think there's 16 like metal spikes in the bottom of the shoe, so I wore those. Just because there's less snow now, but it was still snowy at the top, and I wanted just like a little bit more of a steady like footing.
How was
Coming
Rainbow
downhill,
last
right?
week?
Huh?
How was Rainbow?
It was great. There was some like gnarly post holing though.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, 800
The
inches
afternoon
at
thaw.
top up there. Yeah.
Oh, like we were walking, I was like, oh, this is great. And then like I sunk in like waist deep, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
that's the way the
not.
rest of this day is going to be.
You rocking gaiters?
Yeah, I had gaiters on, but it was really just like 2 sections that were probably like 30 yards long, and then the rest was clear. Like that was really
okay.
the only post holing. And then there was still snow up at the summit on the ridge line, but it was like hard packed.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Sweet.
Wind blowing.
You see any wildlife?
No, but I know the bears are out, so we were glad that we didn't. We started at, I think 5, and we didn't, or 4:30, but we didn't get back down till I think like 10:45.
Yeah.
This is a classic. Oh, we
You'll
didn't.
be home by
a little
9.
longer?
Yeah.
We didn't schedule enough time.
On your first time up Rainbow, did you do the thing where everyone kind of thinks they need to go to the right under that little cliff section?
So thankfully, the first time I hiked it was with people who had hiked it before.
Oh, okay.
So, but I would have done that.
Yeah.
I did that the first time I tried to hike Indian House. You are supposed to do the same thing you do on Rainbow. You drop down and like traverse along the spine, and then you come up.
Yeah.
And then it's even further back. But Rainbow, you drop down and then you go up and you come back to the summit.
Yeah.
There were 2 people there who went that way and passed us on the way down. And I was like,
Yeah.
What?
how did you get up there?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They're like, oh, we just climbed. And I was like, why?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's really sketchy.
Yeah. There's definitely some 3 points of contact through there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
that's
um,
actually,
yeah.
yeah.
So-
Yeah,
Well,
I
speaking
head
on-
down to my first time up that, and I was like, "Oh, damn it! I should have paid attention because
Yeah.
we were like way over it." But anyway,
Yeah.
Speaking about animal encounters and all your things, have you ever had like a close moose? I think that's scarier than the bear, so the moose with the baby. But have you had any episodes where you're like with your dogs and it's like ooh, high alert?
I think the scariest encounter I ever had was with, I haven't had any bad moose encounters, which is like surprising. I'm kind of, I like knock on wood, apprehensive because like the moose have been pretty aggressive this year from what I've just been seeing on like the hiking posts.
Oh, wow.
But I think the closest encounter I had, it was stupid. I should have had dogs with me. I did Little O'Malley and I got to the parking lot and this is the one time I ignored my checklist. Okay. So I didn't have my bear spray. I hadn't told like anybody what I was doing, where I was going, and there was no cars in the parking lot. And I was like, oh, it'll be really quick. I never see.
Just trying to make headline news or what?
I don't know. I was just like trying to get in a quick like trail run before class or something. And so I like got to the top and I stood up. And no, I don't want to make headlines. That's not how I want to make headlines.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what you're writing this story. It was like,
I know. I think
Mom
I was.
and Dad will kill you.
Oh, it was bad. I think I was like 24 when this happened. But I got to the top and I was like power hiking. So I was like looking down, just like breathing heavily, working hard, like trying to like beat my time that I had to the top. And I stand up and I'm like, oh, cool. And I look around and there's a black bear and 2 cubs, like probably like 20 yards away. And I was like, and I like go to my vest and I was like, my bear spray is not here. So I start panic calling my sister and she texts me, Sarah, I'm in a meeting right now. I was like, you have to pick up the phone. And so I called her. I was like, Lauren, I fucked up. This is really bad. And she was like, where are you? And I was like, I'm hiking. She's like, you didn't send me a picture of what you were wearing or tell me that you were going. Because usually I'll also send a selfie of what I'm wearing.
That's a great idea.
In case anything happens.
Yeah, good call.
That's if I'm hiking by myself. But I was like, Lauren, I'm at Little O'Malley Gully. There's a black bear and 2 cubs. They're not interested right now, but I'm turning around. And she was like, Sarah, you text me the second you get back to the bridge, and then you call me when you're back at the car. And I was like, okay. And so I like slowly like turned, like, you know, like started walking backwards. And like she kind of like stepped forward a little bit, and like the cubs were kind of looking at me, and I was like, okay, and slowly got down. And as soon as I was out of eyesight, I just like hauled back to the car. That is the fastest I've ever done. Out and back.
Beat your time?
I did.
Well, I think sometimes in those situations, it's better if they haven't spotted you to be quiet and back up out of there versus making yourself aware, especially with cubs.
Yeah. And like she had seen me, and like I made myself big, and I was like, hey, whoa, but like definitely like backed away. Just I'm like,
Have you considered something that's come up several times, and now we kind of take them on the rafts and stuff like that, is those little marine air horns?
My friend Nikki always runs with an air horn, and that is something that I want to purchase for this summer. It's great. I think it's great to have bear spray and an air horn. So I don't personally have a bear gun. Nick has one, but I would need to go to the range and be like more comfortable using it, I think, before I brought it with me by myself, just for like safety.
Yeah, you
and
need
on
to
the
be
raft
really
too.
proficient with those things.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, that's why I'm not, and I have like no shame in admitting
Have you
that.
practiced the bear spray?
Oh yeah. So I was a camp counselor for 7
Oh,
summers
CC?
at Trailside Discovery Camp.
Yeah. That's cool.
I love Trailside. Very fond of that camp and organization. But we had to do, I'm like laughing because we had to do bear spray trainings every summer. And
Would they spray you in the face?
No.
Have you done that?
No.
So you know.
I probably shouldn't share that story, but
You probably should.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
There's nobody listening
but
yet.
the bear spray training, the individual who was in charge of it took it very seriously, and it was just like all of these college and high school students, like yada yada yada, bear spray, okay, like. But so I'm very like proficient in bear spray safety and how to use it. One summer, I will share the story. We have to wear the bear spray like on our person. Like you have to. You can't have it in your backpack. You can't have it in like your water bottle holder. And so one of the younger employees, was a high schooler, had it in his backpack water holder, and his backpack was on the floor, and it was during preschool like story time, quiet time. And one of the preschoolers grabbed the bear spray and was like playing with it and got the safety off, and just literally 2 seconds hit the button. And oh my gosh, it was awful. Kids were throwing up. Like people were crying. Like there's no air filter in the building. It's just because there's no air conditioning. Like you can turn the heat on, but like I don't think that's gonna make it any better.
No. Everyone's going outside.
No, so like I walked in and I was like, because it just burned your throat, and so I know how nasty it is, and like luckily the parents were really understanding. They're like, we know, like it happens. Like I was like, it happens. Like I don't think it should, but so that was my bear spray.
Well, on that topic, I was actually thinking about this. I was going through my garage and all this stuff, and you have these bear sprays that you've probably had for years. Yep. You might have sprayed them, and my goal is to take my kids who have never sprayed it themselves to like use all these old ones and like find a park or something and be like, make sure the wind's right, and just have them actually take it out and practice it. Because I would love to them to just have it, because a lot of times you're on the river and the kids are running off, or they're fishing over there and you're over here, and you never know a bear can come up, and I want them to have their own bottle and their own spray, but obviously do it so that they know. So I think I don't know if that stuff expires.
It does.
So I would assume like it's great to just take that expired bottle or two you have, every year probably, come springtime, have your kids or have yourself train with it so that you know what it is. And also I've heard that the different bottles that you buy, whether you buy the one from Costco or the different ones, spray a little bit differently, whereas some are like this direct stream and some are more like the cloud, so that you kind of know what you're working with. And then obviously your kids, or the camp kids, whoever, can like practice it, and so that you know what it's going to do, so you're prepared.
And then it's important to also teach them like where they should be spraying, like especially like in a panic moment, because like we did like a brief training with the kids when we worked at camp, and like almost all of them would like point their arms like straight up or like like a shoulder height, and you're supposed to actually aim it a little bit more down, according to my camp training.
And then the initial cloud, and then you save the rest for the burst last minute kind of thing. Yeah. So the same thing with fire extinguishers and kids. So like my kids aren't really old enough, but that's like a thing, right? Your fire extinguishers every 2 years or whatever expire. Take those old ones out and actually light a fire and show them how to spray down to bottom up, just like the firefighters do. So that like if you do have a fire in your house, you or your kids know how to put it out.
Yeah.
Hot tips, y'all. Hope you're writing this down.
Yeah. I like the practice in the bear spray with the kids.
Yeah, because I was going through all my stuff and I got like 6 bottles. I was like, man, these got to be expired. Like they've just been in the kit, in and out of every trip. And, you go to Costco and like, I should probably buy some more. Yeah. But just go practice with the old ones.
And I hope it doesn't sound mean, but also then like they can maybe experience a little bit like how potent it is.
They appreciate it.
Like, kind of like understand like, oh, like, okay, this is like not.
Well, it's like the idea where like fire is important. So, a kid getting a little bit of a burn is not bad because then they realize like this could be a problem.
You grab an amber or a hot stick.
Yep.
Teach it real quick.
I'm a huge advocate of like kids doing unsafe things safely. So like they kind of like learn their boundaries and their limits and
unsafe things safely.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
I love that.
Learn the responsibilities of it.
Yep.
Let's take one more break and then we're going to come back with Jack's trivia. So I hope you did your studying.
Oh.
When we get the song back?
No, we don't have the song back.
What?
Actually, I've been thinking about the song. We're going to come up with a new song, but maybe next episode. Sorry, no song.
That's okay.
Yeah,
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Is this what you listen to in the banya?
I'm just answering my own trivia.
He comes up with the questions, but he has to have the music.
I kind of like this new music that we found. This is like a British game trivia song.
Okay.
Do we have like the intro to the old?
We're going to have to redo that whole thing, I think, and just make it legit.
The creepy trivia, as Scotty called it.
I'll just share that one with you, Daniel.
Okay.
Think about it as a candidate.
Okay.
All right, we got some trivia tonight.
Okay.
All right, so Alaska is a big place. In terms of like established hiking trails, how many hiking trails are in the state of Alaska?
In the whole state?
Yeah. For established. And you're the guest. You can go first or last or middle. You get to choose.
No, Brandon has to go first, and you have 5 seconds.
Oh, you're doing the 5 second
Oh,
thing?
what?
No, because he likes to just blare it out.
2,682.
Okay, good. I'm going to say 8,000.
2,487.
Damn.
Wow.
So we can't do prices right. Because everyone went way over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
So I usually listen to
We all
my
lose.
gut. But then you guys had like up in the thousands, and I was like, oh, I better round up.
What was your
Well,
gut?
487.
All right. Is 750.
What?
okay.
Yeah. 7 established hiking trails.
Okay.
So
Right.
who's,
Like,
who's
750.
closest? How many did you say? 8,000, Daniel?
Yeah, man.
Those are the secret trails, though.
Yeah, you don't know about
Well,
those.
I wanted to say like 100 something, but I'm like, yeah, but Jack's gonna come back with like 2,000.
well, and that's how it
1,000.
usually is.
Yeah. So I was like ready for that.
It's like, how many lakes do we have? And everyone's like 1,000, and then it's like 3 million.
Sarah, it's my thing to just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind with zero research or knowledge of it.
You had a roll going though for a while.
I know, and I was actually like,
Yeah, you were
getting it.
like nailing them all.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hit me
Yeah.
with your next
So what's
one.
the answer again?
750.
So 750 established.
That's still a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah.
trails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's the website? The like
all trails? All trails is pretty
you
popular.
have- You have to
Yeah.
be careful with all trails, though, because all
Oh,
trails
what?
will lie to you
Oh, okay. Like Google
About-
Earth.
about like elevation and actual distance.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
too good to
Okay.
be true sometimes,
Oh,
isn't it?
sometimes you go in really excited and you're like looking at you're like, oh, this is in fact 3 miles longer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
So,
Which ones do you like? Which apps?
I a lot of the time will look at Strava and look at other people's Stravas
Yeah.
to see what the elevation gain was
Yeah.
and the time
Yep.
that it took them.
Get some like real data.
and the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate Strava. And then I have the Garmin.
Yeah, what is that fancy watch you got
This
on?
is a Garmin. I think it's the I have to look it up. It's the 945, I believe.
Gar.
And yeah, no,
The Gar.
the Gar. Let me look it up real quick.
It's the min, dog.
The Min. The Min or the Gar.
I must know. It's the Forerunner 945. My wonderful mother got it for me when I graduated from college. And while there was like a little bit of she got it for a reason. There has a safety feature on it. So if I fall, it will contact my emergency contacts and give them my location.
Oh, that's cool.
How does it know
Like,
that you
I'm
fall?
tracking you.
So if I'm on an activity and I like shake my arm too hard or like wave it around, it'll go accident. Like,
And you're like,
Detected.
yeah, and I have to go down to cancel.
you're like, I got my glove on. Oh no.
It's accident detected. So like one time I post hold, I like fell like
Yeah.
waist deep, and I was like, oh, and it started like vibrating, and I was like, no, I'm fine.
False alarm.
But it's cool because there's a feature if you scroll down like during your hike activity, GPS will pop up, and if it is one of those established trails, I can see the trail on my
Yeah.
watch face
that's
and
cool.
make sure I'm going
That's
the right
cool.
way. So
Yeah. That's pretty rad. Do you ever carry like an inReach or anything where you can?
I do have an inReach for longer hikes, and but I typically don't take that on like the shorter stuff.
Yeah.
But
You have the mini or the big one?
the mini,
Yeah.
yeah. So after that incident with the bears on Pioneer Peak, we went and picked up a inReach. It's like, nope.
Funny how
Yeah.
that'll work, huh? You're like, yeah,
Everyone should have one.
Yep.
Days.
All right. So out of those 750 established hiking trails, how many of those trails are in Denali Park?
42.
50.
22.
10.
I got it.
And then
closest.
what's the total mileage of the 10 in Denali?
1,000.
Whoa. Established hiking trails in Denali?
Remember the longest trail was like the Resurrection Trail at like 54
Well, I
miles?
just average 10 miles per 10 trails. My guess is it What I said 1,000? Whoa.
But on Sean's, we had the longest hiking trail. I think it was 54 miles. It was Resurrection.
Right, well, I messed up. It's not 1,000.
You want to retract your
No,
your
it's
answer?
too late. It's too late.
Sarah, what do you got?
I'm gonna say 724.
Man, that's very accurate. I'm going to say 638.
Have you guys been hiking in Denali?
No.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So this is amazing. All the trails are super short.
5,000.
What?
They're
No,
super
it's probably
short.
like
So
20.
there's only 35 miles of trails in Denali.
What did I say again? I said 300 and something.
Yep.
Oh, I nailed it again.
1,000.
It sounded like one of my answers. Well, if for all our listeners that are frequent listeners, they know.
Yep.
We kill it. On
Yeah, we do.
Kill it.
And all this is like new information for most of us.
Yeah.
Including me. So
On your little list of your gear stuff, like walk us through like something, a couple things that you're taking on your quick little trips, like must-have things that you have. You already mentioned the bear spray. What else?
Okay. So again, I'm kind of more of an overpacker. I'd rather have more and be over prepared than under prepared. And some of my friends are more like hyper light, like so they pack like very minimally, but their gear is very it's appropriate and will work. But for summertime, do you want summer or like winter hiking?
Let's do both.
Okay, so summer hiking, I always bring my water, sunscreen, Summit snacks are a must.
Summit snacks? I
Summit
like that.
snacks, and then
Is that like a custom thing? Or what is that a...
What's on the snack
top
list?
catchy tune.
Yeah.
so Summit snacks, I really like. Well, and like it depends. Like if it's just like if we're like bringing like actual food, because we'll like pack up sandwiches and stuff sometimes.
Okay.
Or I've been known to pack up like a Fire Island sandwich. To
Yeah.
the top.
Oh, yeah.
Just 'cause it's
Charcuterie
so good.
board.
Yeah. So
2 bottles of wine.
You got Gucci hikes too.
Oh yeah, it's great. We came up with a name for it. It was bougineering, like mountaineering, but make it bougie.
Bougineering?
Yeah. So I always make sure I have snacks. I love the Cliff Bar, the energy chews. They have like sodium and caffeine in them. So like if you're kind of in a pinch or stuck and like run out of water, at least you're still getting like the stuff that you need. Because I think a lot of people in the summer, people sweat so much. Like, and if you have one of those, like you feel great afterwards because it's got like quick carbs, sugar, like the salt that you need. So energy chews, 2 snacks. I really like the Stroop waffles, or
Those are good.
I get at Costco. You know those kids pouches of applesauce.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bring those. Those are my favorite.
What's your favorite flavor of those?
Just like the plain applesauce.
Oh, you like apple?
Yeah,
strawberry
Apple.
That's
Now they have like the 5 flavor one.
The apple.
There's
It's like a
5?
mix. It's brand new. It comes like half that and half apple, and it's all their flavors mixed together.
What?
Yeah, it's like
We'll be
it's like this
stepping.
kamikaze, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
but with the applesauce fountain.
That's awesome. No, so I like applesauce for like the way up, like for just like a quick snack, and then usually I also have like a sandwich for the top, and probably a beer because Summit beers.
Nice. What's your beer selection?
A King Street IPA.
Oh yeah. That's ended me a few times.
We tried to do. We tried to do the Denali Brewing, the blueberry mojito.
Yeah.
That was a rough.
11 something
it was,
percent or something.
Yeah, it was. Well, sometimes it's labeled 11 or 12. Sometimes it's labeled like 15.
Oh,
Like,
really?
They don't. It kind of changes. I asked them at the brewery. I was like, "Hey, like, why are these different?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
So that's a little like I think that's a little like much for the top, but that was a fun hike down. It took us a little longer.
I bet.
than
I
anticipated.
rolled some ankles, bruised some knees.
I feel like
too comfortable.
whenever I trip and fall on a hike, it's usually accompanied by like a no, or I'll yell like why, really loudly. And my friends are like, Sarah, we think you've broken something when you do that. Like, please stop.
Yeah.
But so water, more Summit snacks than you need. I bring my Patagonia Houdini. It's like a windproof layer. It's really thin. It packs down to like the size of my phone. And so it fits really well in your bag. I have Arc'teryx LTS, the Atom jacket. It's like it's like in most of my pictures. It's like a golden yellow color. That is my favorite. I wear it hiking in the summer. I wear it hiking in the winter. It's breathable. It's warm. If I get sweaty, it dries really quickly. I got mine a size bigger because I like to wear stuff underneath it.
Like a layer.
Yeah.
Is it this one here? Only.
Yes, that one. And then so you have a windproof, a puffy. So for summertime, I need to collect my thoughts. The Houdini for windproof, the puffy for warmth, the lighter puffy, and then a rain jacket, and then a hat and light gloves because it can still get cold when it gets kind of rainy and windy and nasty. And then most of that stuff balls down really well, so I can fit it in my running vest. I have an Osprey. I actually bought the men's one because it had more pockets.
Nice.
It's red, and it had a more stretchy like mesh outside pocket, and that's usually where I just shove everything if I'm like layering and unlayering.
Better application.
Yeah, and then usually I'll wear like bike shorts and like tall socks, my Solomon trail runners, and then I'll wear like a tank top and then a long sleeve that's like an SPF layer, so just light stuff.
In case it gets too hot.
Yeah, so because I'm constantly relayering and like I'm kind of a fussy temperature person to be comfortable. So
constant adjustments.
Yes, so that's for summer. Winter hiking. It's funny. Winter hiking is hard because like if you're doing Wolverine and you're really kind of like booking it, you get really warm, so you can like strip down to like a long sleeve, like just like a base layer and be okay. I think the most important thing, and gear is really advanced in the last 10 years with wicking layers, especially those. I love the Arc'teryx jackets. So there's different like levels of warmth, and so I might be mixing them up. There's like the LTS and the LTS Atom. One of them is the warmer jacket, and I call it the super puffy. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pack because that's like the text thread before we go. Like, what's everyone wearing / bringing?
Yep.
So winter hiking, it's gonna be hiking boots, Katulas, the ice bikes, gaiters. I don't like hiking in snow pants. I usually just hike in like running tights. And then the gaiters keep your calves warm. And then I bring my scoop skirt, and it's just like a down. It's like this material, and it's just a down skirt.
For the added warmth when you need it.
Yep.
Peel it off when you don't.
And it's just better mobility, I think, than snow pants, which I just prefer. I have yet to find a pair of like hiking snow pants that I like.
Yeah, totally.
Without overheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although now these like Eddie Bauer insulated pants from Costco, they're epic.
Costco?
Yeah, so they used to be like $150 at Eddie Bauer, and now you can get like the same pair for $20 in the winter. They're amazing, and they're like tech, but they breathe really well.
Okay.
They're fleece inside, and then they have like a little bit of water wicking. I don't know if it's the resin or what. But anyway,
Okay.
DWR coating or something like that.
That's cool.
yeah.
What's the
I'll have
backpack?
to check this out. Mine?
Yeah.
That is a Deuter. That's actually a Deuter. It's a that's my backcountry
Oh,
ski.
DUE.
Yeah, TER.
Yeah.
That's my backcountry ski backpack,
Okay.
which I use a lot in the winter because it has. On this particular hike, I brought all my Avi stuff with me. Gold Star Peak is really steep, and there is some like light sloughing going on. So we just brought all of our like beacon probe shovel, and our InReach, and that backpack just has more room, and it also has room for like a water bladder and all my gear. And then I was able to clip my snowshoes instead of my skis outside.
Yeah.
So then
Is that what that metal thing is on the?
yeah, that's one of my snowshoes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Or like crossed or something on there.
yeah. And then I always bring hiking poles, and I bring hiking poles in the summer also. I started doing that last year. My knees are much
the
heavier
best.
with hiking poles.
I have to do it.
And so then for like upper layers, it's like a long wicking layer that's like slightly insulated. This one's not. But and then a vest, my Arc'teryx puffy, and usually I'll pack like my Patagonia like actual down jacket in case you get stuck and you have to sit somewhere for a long time. I think it's better to have a core insulation layer. And then a hat, a headband, and usually 2 pairs of gloves. So I use like thinner ones for hiking up if it's really cold, but then those will typically get wet if you're climbing. And then on the way down, my hands really get cold, so I'll put on like thicker gloves for the way down.
Yeah, you're touching the ice and snow less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good system.
yep.
I mean, it seems kind of a lot.
Yeah.
For overkill maybe for like that quick day hike, but you're prepared if something goes wrong.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's for like bigger, like all day
hikes,
But
yeah.
like my quick like hikes, like if I'm going to go do Bear Mountain after work out in Chugiak, I'll bring like my running vest with my Arc'teryx and a headband and gloves
Like super
and
basic.
water and just like zip up and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I was supporting because I'm a like bring too much guy, everything I
Yep.
do. And I always justify it.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, well, you might, or, this maybe might happen. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So
I'll carry an extra 10 pounds.
We hiked Pioneer Peak in August. It was really fun. I loved it. It was beautiful. I've never been up there. It was just breathtaking. I'm stoked to do it again this summer. And I brought my big, I think it's like a 50-liter Osprey pack with me. For the hike.
Ready for an overnighter.
I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
And so we're hiking back down, and my friends are like, man, I'm so thirsty, but I'm running low on water. I was like, do you guys want a Gatorade? I brought one. I pulled it out of my backpack. And they're like, Sarah, you packed up a Gatorade to the top, didn't drink it, and we're just going to bring it
Just keep
back down. It was in the fridge. It was like, what if we get stuck and need electrolytes? But since then, I've discovered Noon tablets.
Yeah,
and
they're the
and
best.
I love them.
Yeah.
I have there's some in my car right now. They're just now
My
a
kids
staple.
think they're juice.
Perfect.
That's all we've had.
That's perfect.
Where do you access Pioneer Peak from?
So there's
right?
it's a Klutna, but if you put it in Google Maps, it'll stop you at the old bridge, right when you get off the highway.
Okay.
But then you have to keep going quite a ways, and then there's an actual established trailhead with a sign that says Pioneer Ridge Trail. But it's down quite getting. So I live out in Chugiak, and from Chugiak to the trailhead, it took me I think 27 minutes to get there.
Okay.
30, it's quite a ways down.
Yeah.
So, but All Trails has good directions for Pioneer.
that one.
Are you saying
On that one.
old Glen, it hooks a 90 to go over the bridge over the Connect, but you go straight?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's
then
where you
you-
access that trail.
Yep. And then
Gotcha.
you keep going. You have to
Okay.
keep
Yeah.
going.
Another mile or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty far back, and you can't.
Is that a pretty vertical pull to get up there? It seems like that'd be.
Pioneer Peak.
Yeah.
It's funny. So there's switchback, a ton of switchbacks, for a really long time, and then you get up to. I always break big hikes like that up into 3 sections. So there's the switchbacks, and then there's a really long ridge walk, and you actually don't go up the jagged front section. You go around and go up the back side.
It's like a
almost.
bowl back there.
Yeah. And it takes a long time, but it's kind of a nice break between the two steep sections.
Yeah.
How
And
long did it take you?
It took us all day. We
Yeah.
started it, but we stopped and took pictures and had lunch. And,
Yeah, took your time.
yeah,
I think it's 11 mile, right? Round trip.
Round trip.
Pioneer. It's 11 or 12. I'd have to look at my Strava.
Could you do that on an overnighter? Is there anywhere to camp on the mountain?
There was somebody up there who was prepping for a hunting trip, and they just tucked off over into kind of the bushes and was camping, and they seemed to be having a nice time. But
Yeah.
that we left I was late, so we left at 10 instead of 9:30, and then we got back at I think 6 or 7.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
we took our time. When we got to the top, we sat up there and enjoyed it for a while because we worked so hard to get up there. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to
Do you kind of summit to the side of it then? Is this the right
Back
map?
ridge.
Or can you still walk this to go up to there?
So the green and black dot is the road, and then the green dot is the summit.
Okay.
Or sorry, the yellow dot.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, the yellow dot is not the actual, that's Pioneer, I think they call Pioneer Left. And then you'll see the red line extends. That's true Pioneer Peak, but you need
okay.
mountaineering and climbing gear
Oh,
to
that's
summit that.
Okay.
So, and we saw some people coming back with climbing gear, they climbed it, but they left super early in the day.
Right.
And we're just getting done. they said it took them another 3 hours to climb and summit.
That tallest point.
So
Yeah, it looks really rugged and super sketchy. From
the front side.
From every angle you look at it, you're like,
Yeah.
ooh.
there was.
But you never see the backside unless you fly over it.
No, and it's. I think I have a picture. It's beautiful up there, the ridge walk. And I was telling my mom because she doesn't want to hike to the actual summit, but I was like, Mom, we should just go do the ridge because it was so beautiful. And
Did you guys see critters on that trip? Maybe sheep?
no sheep.
No.
We saw sheep on Gold Star Peak though. My friend's dog like chased him right by us. It was very startling.
It's always fun.
Where's Gold Star?
Gold Star is like, it's up at, I don't have a picture of just Pioneer Peak. It was up at, it's up at Eklutna, and you pull off, I think between mile 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. It's just like a little pull out, and there's no actual trailhead.
Off the old Glen? Are you talking about?
Gold Star Peak's like up, like before Eklutna Lake.
Yeah. Okay.
You go up the...
Like
yeah,
before
so
the Two Sisters or whatever.
Yeah, so you go up there.
The road up, and then you would go left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So it's like, you know where the ice cream shop is?
Yeah.
It's like the trailhead is like 3 minutes before the ice cream shop. And there's no trailhead. There's like a little pull out that can fit like 3 or 4 cars.
Okay.
And then you hike up to the top. The Gold Star Peak is actually a nonprofit organization. I didn't know this.
Oh.
I thought it was a hiking page, so I followed them on Instagram. And it's actually a nonprofit organization for like military families and like families and veterans. And they do a lot of like group work for family members who have lost a family member in service. And they do the hikes up there. And so like at the top, there's actually a tower with the gold star on it and quite a few tags. So it's very humbling.
Yeah.
It was a little like, it was saddening to be there, but it's a great program. I talked to the director a little bit. He messaged me and was asking if I was a licensed therapist yet and if I'd be interested in joining some other hikes in the future, but I'm not licensed yet. So that was...
You didn't tell me you had 200 TTHs? Or YTTs?
A little applicable in different ways.
Yeah, we can do some yoga on that.
Yep.
So go ahead, Jack.
Does that trail connect to the Two Sister peaks up further? Or?
No. So those are quite a bit farther away. So Gold Star Peak, you can ridge walk over to POW/MIA Peak is the other one.
Yeah.
But then you have to drive down to a different trailhead for like Pepper Peak and the Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was gonna. She like brushed on the psychology and the counseling, right?
Yeah.
You have is it a major in or a degree? Excuse me, in psychology? Is it?
So I'm in grad school right now.
Yeah. Are you working on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm getting my master's in counseling and psychology at Alaska Pacific University.
Nice.
Sweet. What's the future hold for that?
I'm probably going to be going in, I had a very clear idea of what I wanted to do with my degree. And I wanted to incorporate, and I still might, I don't know. I don't like to put myself in a box. I like to keep, options.
Sure.
Growth mindset, But I was going to work with adults and try and incorporate yoga into therapy. So like having a 45-minute yoga session and then doing like a 30-minute yoga session to kind of decompress and digest the session. Because I see a therapist once a month just to check in. It's great. I think everyone should.
Yeah.
Totally.
Heard good things.
Yeah. And like usually after my session, I'll go for a run. And so it's kind of the same thing, just like kind of getting out of your head to let everything kind of process on the back burner. But looking at my resume, it's like all working with kids. So and I just got my internship, so I'll be working with kids. And I'm super stoked about it. And I'm like, why do I always try and gravitate to something else? Like, I love working with children. Like, it's my favorite. I connect with them really well. So I'm probably going to be a therapist for children. So I'm excited to see what I learned in my internship.
What is your internship?
It's I'm going to be working at South Central Foundation, their child and family outpatient services. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, right on.
I'm thrilled.
When's that
you'd be
start?
like right in it.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
What was that, Jack? When does that start?
When's that start?
I just got my my email offer today.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
I'm not sure.
Cool.
So I should know more tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think. So, but yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you didn't mind me asking, because we didn't
No.
start there. Like, what do you do for a living? Or get into any of that, which,
no.
we try not to dive into that too much.
No, and I'm really glad you asked. It took me a little bit longer to figure out what I wanted to do for a career.
Sure.
And I was a dental assistant and a dental office manager for a while. And
Another good field, right?
oh, it's great. I learned.
I got this thing.
Really?
No wonder your teeth are so nice and bright and straight.
I learned a lot. I did, but I'm thankful for that time. The office I worked for was very accommodating and let me take some time to get my yoga teacher training while I was there. And
YTT for those of you that don't know.
YTT.
Got that 200
Come to the YTT, you know me.
So
certified.
it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do. It took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree. And then I graduated and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to school. But I just I feel really passionately about giving back to the community like Alaska. I was born and raised here, and this community gave me so much and so many opportunities. And I feel really strongly about setting children up for that same success and opportunity. And I think that I saw a therapist when I was younger as well, and she was so incredible. Just having somebody who offered an outside, unbiased, judgment-free perspective to let you kind of explore your feelings and just have a healthy outlet. I really am hoping to be that person for young children so they can have those.
And South Central Foundation is great for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we talk about it a lot. Today's kids, and yesterday's kids and future kids, they're all going to have their own challenges. Mm-hmm. But right now it really seems tough.
Oh, yeah.
The social media pressure, we've talked about that before. I don't want to rabbit hole into the same thing, but it's great to hear that people like yourself are interested in getting involved and engaged with kids, because now more than ever, I think they need that support.
I think they need that support.
Really?
And don't get me wrong, I love social media, and I think it's going to be the future for a lot of platforms for professional development and business development. But also at the same time, there's this kind of gap with communication and learning how to communicate with people, not just through a text message or an Instagram message. And kids are having a hard time communicating because everything's digital. So then when you do come face to face with someone, or you have to make a phone call for an interview, I have
you have a social interaction. You're
it's hard, and so there's some stuff I think that not all kids, but certain kids struggle with. So just the communication part.
Well, it's funny you said that, because I asked my students the other day, what's the hand signal for the phone?
Did they know?
No, they don't know. Even my own kids. We know it's this.
Yeah.
You know what they did? This. All of them.
Oh my god.
All of them did that.
No one just at least
No one
held it
did
up to
that.
their
No one did that.
face?
They don't even know. My own kids, I was like, here, it's your abuelita. Talk to them. And they're like, I was like, no, you got to actually put it to your ear and talk.
Well, we want to FaceTime.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy.
Yeah, that was probably a cold reality check, wasn't it?
Yeah, they don't know how to use it. And then we have a real phone in our house just for emergencies.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize okay, you actually have to push the buttons in time to get them all going
In the right order.
in the right order. And then listen to, they did it, and they're just waiting for it to do something. And it's no, you gotta put it to your ear, listen,
man.
Looking at this, it had a screen.
Just imagine the old school one.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, we
man.
had 'em.
They wouldn't know
We
what to
had
do
'em.
with that.
Yeah. You got to put a quarter in.
We had one of those the round phone dial when we moved into one of our my parents' house that they're in now, and we would all run downstairs to use that phone because we thought it was so much fun.
Right?
Just
Yeah.
just the novelty of having to wait.
Yeah.
It's in those old movies. My parents are whoa. They're
Yeah.
not that old.
There's actually some really good videos that they have on YouTube that they'll have a group of kids, and they'll bring up a Discman or an old tape player, and they're like, how would you play a song with this? And the kids are just swiping it and pushing on it weirdly, and they have no clue what to do with it.
Hit the open button, eject.
Yeah, no clue. Dude.
You got to breathe on it.
Give it a breath.
Yeah.
You want to play Mario Kart?
Well, Sarah, thanks for coming in and sharing your story with us and all your hot tips.
Thanks.
And inspiring the youth and other people. Are you okay with people hitting you up on your Instagram for like hikes that maybe they want to do and things like that?
Absolutely. I am always happy to like offer advice and pointers for people. I usually have time, and sometimes it takes me a little bit to get back to people, but I'm more than happy to. I have my profile set to public just because like I hope people will reach out and like ask questions.
Right.
So
Yep. And it's Sarah_Summit. Summits with the S.
Yes, with an S.
Yep.
Yeah. Finding the summits.
Finding the summits. Any other questions, boys?
With their summit snacks?
The summit snacks.
Their summit beers?
Yeah, you gotta have both.
Summit beers.
I just
Summit
learned some
sandwiches.
I just learned some new lingo. I didn't realize it was summit stuff. I was like, oh,
Summit
okay.
snacks.
Yeah,
Summit
summit
snacks.
snacks.
I was like backpacking
I
things.
remember the first person I went hiking with. They're like, "Yeah, did you bring a summit beer?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, a beer for the summit, a summit beer." I was like, "Is that a thing?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh."
Now they had to share theirs with you.
They brought two.
Guess I'm only having one.
But
We got a neophyte on one.
yeah, but ever since. But yeah, thanks for having me. This has been really great. It was really
Thanks for your
great to
time.
talk to you guys. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for everyone. Check out the website, AlaskaWildProject.com. Definitely check out Sarah's Instagram, Sarah_Summits. Wild Wanderings, Alaska raised and rooted with 200 YTTs. Certified. Alaska, stay wild.
You'll remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit acminc.com today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th, handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.